everyone for this podcast with us in Salgaocar College of Law. With me there is Professor MRK Prasad and Dr. B.S. Patil. And the topic of discussion today is exploring life in a law college. So what we are looking at here in this topic is, and our target audience is basically someone who is in high secondary, maybe in 11th or 12th standard, confused with a lot of career options, and then there is law is one of the option for them.
Yes.
So when they look at various streams, they don't have a lot of clue what goes into a college. So here we are basically telling them what goes into a law college. So which helps them decide, and otherwise also it is also for parents to know which are the better options, also for other people deciding about law college in general and what are the trends that are going on now. So we will try to cover those aspects. So starting from the beginning, I would want both of you to introduce yourself, but start from the very beginning. So I would go with Patil sir first.
Okay. So in the beginning, I'm actually almost 50 years old, and I belong to a family of lawyers. I am actually unofficially third generation lawyer, because the first generation was not qualified officially, but he was a vakil. He used to represent the people in Sangli Sansthan, Miraj Sansthan. And then my father, he was a judge and he retired as a judge. Then my generation, myself, my brother, my cousins, we all are lawyers. My sister is also a lawyer. So except my mother, we all are lawyers in the house. Only I diverted from practice. I diverted myself into teaching the law. So I graduated from University Law College, Dharwad, and did LLM there. Then I did PhD in Goa University. I joined this institution in 2001, and I have been associated with this institution till then. About me, if I tell that this is something which was not in the platter, because teaching was not in my wildest of dream. I never thought I would be a teacher, but somehow when I cleared LLB, I stood first in the entrance for the LLM, so that gave me a kind of a push that I should learn further. And major reason why I did LLM is I didn't want to sacrifice my evenings where I used to meet my friends, and I couldn't imagine myself sitting in an office in the evening. So I wanted that one more year extra of evening outings, and I joined LLM, and my whole life got changed, and now I am here.
So LLM is 1 year?
No, I did 2 years of LLM.
Okay.
And my specialization was labor law. Few years I taught labor law, but afterwards I diverted myself to ADR, clinical legal education. Prasad, myself, we all got into that.
So was there any pressure or were there any cues at home that you have to take your journey towards law?
No, actually at home there was no indication as such. But as you grow in a house where morning father is giving dictation to the stenographer about his judgments and other thing, and there's a pin drop silence in the house when the dictation starts. We don't speak to each other, so we wait for the dictation to complete. So the whole thing, we've been brought up in that atmosphere. So the other things was not there in my mind actually.
But how would you look at it? In admiration, or it was just a neutral feeling for you when these things would happen?
Actually, being first citizens or first family of a town, because wherever my father was posted, he used to be the biggest authority in the town. So those privileges were there. So therefore, as a child, it used to astonish me. I used to enjoy those privileges. Everyone knew us. Everyone in the town knew us. If you stop auto rickshaw, driver knows us. So we need not tell where we want to go. He used to drop us home directly. So there were a lot of privileges. So law was fascination for me from the beginning.
Okay, and then you joined college.
Yeah.
and after their journey from the college?
Actually, because of the nature of the job, father used to get transferred every 3 years. So I studied in 10 schools and 3 colleges. So there is a wide variety of experiences I have. So I got comfortable with Telugu because my father was posted in Kolar, because Telugu was a major language in that town. When father was posted in Belgaum, Marathi became comfortable with Marathi. When father was posted in Karwar, I became comfortable with Konkani. So like this, there were so many experiences that I had as a part of that family. So that way, when I joined college, first was a Telugu college because everything was taught in Telugu because it was Kolar. Then it was a Konkani college because I was in Karwar, and then it became a Kannada college because I was in Bijapur. So this was all about 11th, 12th and BSc. Then I joined law in University Law College, and first time I came out of the house, started staying in hostel, and that was first experience of being a common man, because all this time I belonged to privileged family. So that was a learning experience for me. Had difficulties because I had peons at home to work for us, and the moment I got into hostel, so it was everything I had to manage. So I took time to learn all that. But being a law student and being part of a law college, being part of a law hostel, ragging and other things are unheard of. So those things never existed in those areas, in those colleges. So therefore, that was not a difficult part. But these normal things like washing clothes and other things was a new thing for me.
Just the routine was something that.
Something routine was never a routine for me.
But at independence, how did you look at that independence that you got?
Yeah, the independence that was too much to handle for me, because I had to be back home by 6 before sunset, and because of the nature of the job, father used to get worried because he used to convict many people, put them into the jail, some get released. So the rule was we have to be back before sunset. Now here there was nobody to look after, nobody to make sure that we reach where we are. So that was the independence that I really became too much in the beginning. Then slowly I started enjoying. And freedom had a meaning only first 15 days of the month. Once the money is over, freedom has no meaning because you are confined to home because money is not there.
And how did VMSCL, that is VM Salgaocar College of Law, happen for you?
Actually, I was working in Belgaum, so I applied here, and there was a rigorous interview process was there. He was one of the interview panelists that time. So he selected me, and he suffered also for selecting me. But later on, once I joined here, it opened a lot of opportunities for me. New horizons were opened. This is an institution which has given me all the opportunities, and whatever I am today, I think all credit should go to this institution and to my colleagues, because without them none of these things could have been achieved.
Okay. Sir, now let's start with you, sir.
I am not privileged like Patil sir. I was born into a joint family, didn't have a father to look after, and mother is just a homemaker. And we were in a small town called Vinukonda in Andhra Pradesh. So till graduation I completed there. My fascination was to become a doctor. And I took in 11th and 12th standard biology, physics and chemistry. During those days, I'm talking about 1983, you want to go for medicine, like now NEET, there used to be an entrance exam. For that you need to take a coaching, which I couldn't afford. My family couldn't afford. So therefore the next opportunity is to go for BSc, which is again not available in the same town. Can't afford to go out and spend money. So joined in BA, Bachelor of Arts. Took economics as major. not because of choice. That's the only specialization offered in
Not many people know that you've done economics.
though I don't regret today for taking economics, but that's the only option available to me. So I completed my BA. Then the question came, what next? And those were the days just the computers have started, data entry has becoming very highly payable job those days. One of my friend joined and he got a
90s.
job.
Late 90s.
87.
Okay.
The question came in the family what to do after BA. My brother wanted me to go for law. I wanted to go for computers. And I think that was the last difference that me and my brother has. He is just 1.5 years older to me. Then my mother settled saying that go to law college. And law college I had to go travel at least 200 kilometers away to get. And my uncle has supported me fees and monthly expenses. Now we always heard about Spider-Man, right? Great power comes with great responsibility. I would say a greater freedom comes with greater responsibility also. So the moment we leave home and start staying, we don't have hostels there. We used to take a room in somebody's house. Either you cook yourself or there were mess systems in Andhra Pradesh, which is very well oiled system we don't have here. So you are getting money and you need to focus on your studies. That is the time that I took seriously. Because in my life, I don't want to become a lawyer. I don't want to become a teacher.
Both you didn't want.
And I become both. And I'm the first generation lawyer because my brother was, somehow he stopped education that time. He passed BSc, but he didn't pursue later. After I completed my law, he joined law. Now he practices as a lawyer, but I did not. When I completed my law, that time we call it as BL in Andhra Pradesh, Bachelor of Law. In the last year, I knew that I can't go for practice because it takes long time. At home, there is a need to provide money. So therefore, I choose LLM. Went to Krishnara University in Anantapur and joined my LLM program. That time it is called as ML, Master of Law, in Constitutional Law. And I think that's the place which has opened my eyes because one of my professor, because I should take his name, Professor Seshaya, who taught me the Constitution in a critical manner. And I also have a teacher whose name is Pullareddy. He is the one somehow got me into that seat in ML. Because we are talking about 1991, where we don't have internets, we don't have phones so much. I only told him, sir, I want to join an LLM. He has only my name. He filled the form with my name and sent a letter because only letters were there that day. Said so and so day is your entrance examination come. So he paid the fees for me and went there, written the exam, qualified, joined.
Who Sheshaya paid or?
No, Pullareddy.
Pullareddy, yeah.
Then I used to take money from my teachers because many times money don't used to come in time because like today you just 1 second you transfer. Those days it should come as a
Money order.
Money order.
Money order, yeah.
So my teachers helped to a lot extent. So that's why I see the role of a teacher is not just come deliver a lecture at a class and go. It's the overall well-being of the student. Then after that I got, my teacher told me, why don't you go and practice in Hyderabad? Because he was quite impressed with my grip over constitutional law as a student. But my problem is if I go and practice in High Court, those days they never used to give any stipend for the young lawyers. So again I had to spend at least 3-4 years from my family to depend. I decided to join teaching profession. So I worked for a year in Karimnagar in Andhra Pradesh. Now it is in Telangana. Then I worked 2 years in Tirupati. In 1996, I came to this college. And when I came for my interview, I was fascinated that this college is next to the beach. And it is just 100 meters away from the college. I said, this is the place I want to work whole day and then go to beach and enjoy the beach. I was selected and then joined, and just before me 2 months, Professor Pinero, who was an ex-principal of this college, joined as a principal. So we almost joined about within 2 months difference. Then we stayed together in a guest house, and then we used to think a lot about the college, because that time we were 2 of us as a permanent, and Professor Kansar was a permanent professor. Most of them are contract lecturers. Then I have seen this college, how it has grown from an ordinary law college to known to be at internationally. And this is purely the hard work of the professors and the teacher and the students, I would say.
It's wrong to say that you have seen it. He has worked towards it.
So the journey that happened is in 1998, when Bar Council of India has asked us to introduce the clinical legal education as a compulsory subject. There's a practical papers. One of the practical paper was legal aid. And by the time I have already introduced moot courts in the college. When I joined, there was no moot court happening in the college. Then I took for the first time Goa University team, that means one student from our college, one student from Kare Law College, to the Bar Council of India moot court competition in Bhubaneswar. And we reached semi-final. And this is the first time the students in Goa is exposed to the moot court. I had an exposure 2 years for moot, because I used to train the students in Tirupati. But when the Bar Council thing came, I am the senior most after the principal, though Kansar sir was there, but he was more into practice and other things. So we started this legal aid clinics. And then in 2004, the United States Education Foundation of India, we call it as UCFI. It's a joint collaboration between India and an American government. They offered a Fulbright scholarship in clinical legal education. So I have applied. And I was called for an interview in Delhi, shortlisted, called for an interview in Delhi. If I get the scholarship, I will go to United States of America for about 11 months, join in another LLM program and learn how the clinics works in US.
So Fulbright is sponsored by US?
Yes, it is called as the United States Education Foundation of India, USP.
Okay.
So
It's a US public money.
yeah. So throughout India, there is only one scholarship
Yeah.
Yes.
for this. They have many other scholarships, but for clinical legal education, for exclusively for the lawyers or law teachers, this is the only time they introduced in 2004. And I was selected. I was the first recipient of this Fulbright scholarship, which is called as Vanderbilt Fulbright Scholarship in Clinical Legal Education. So I went to Vanderbilt University to study again another LLM, and also to get experience of how the legal aid clinics works in America. So that gave me a lot of exposure. College has given me a 1-year study leave, and it is fully paid by the scholarship. My travel, my fees, my stay, everything is paid. It was a little difficult decision because I had to leave my family. I have just a 2-year-old kid, and the money that they are providing would not be enough to take the family. I had to leave the family here, but after coming back, because that's one of the condition of the scholarship is that I have to come back and work for 3 years in India. When I came back with so many new ideas and looked at how an advanced legal education happened in America, it has completely transformed my idea of what should we teach, how we should teach, and what should we focus. So when I came back to Goa, continued in this college, I have started this ADR board immediately, took Patil with me, and we organized first time a training program in association with the American Center, how to teach ADR in law colleges.
In a clinical method.
There were 30 teachers all over India was selected.
So when you say clinical method, what exactly do you?
When we use that word clinical, actually it was taken from the medical profession. In a medical profession, when you join MBBS, morning you will be taught about anatomy and etc. And afternoon you will be taken to the hospital, attached to the college, and you would be learning practically what is taught in the class. The same methodology we want to use in law college. What you teach in class, they should have an experience of that.
Okay.
So that is what we call as a clinical legal education. That means learning by doing it. So those kind of exposure brought me to bring a lot of changes in this college. And the college was very receptive.
You were very candid about your motive for joining in this field, that is financial motive. Not many people admit it. Usually people say that, it was my passion, even though they must have joined for financial motive. But yours was a compulsion. From that,
yes.
From that to now, because when I see you, I will always see that you have a lot of passion.
Yes.
So when that passion came.
See that's one of the thing. If you look at majority of the law students today, at least at my generation, they didn't come to law college by choice. Most of them by chance. However, you picked up the interest. And the moment, actually, I should share my first experience of teaching. Because when we did LLM, we don't have the kind of exposure the students have today. We never had any seminar system, we never had any practical system. They just come, deliver lecture, at the end you write 100 marks exam and passed. So I passed LLM. Went to a college, I was selected at the first interview. Luckily, they gave me constitutional law to teach. That's my subject, studied for 2 years. For my first class, I worked 6 hours. Read, prepared, went to the class. Whatever I prepared is over in 10 minutes. And my class is 1 hour.
So you have not learned storytelling.
I didn't know how, because see, there is no practically training how to teach.
No practice.
So after 10-15 minutes, I walked out of the class and went straight to my principal and said, maybe I'm not fit for this profession. He's kind enough. I don't think at this generation we would be kind. If I am a principal today, I wouldn't be that kind. He said it happens to everyone. And then from there to become a good teacher, at least today.
Now, in my case, it was quite different. When I joined Belgaum Law College, it was RL Law College. So, after joining, principal called me and asked, so what is your experience on stage? I said, sir, I have never done any debate or other thing. Now you are going to send me on the stage. This is going to be my first time on the stage. Otherwise, I have never been on the stage. That bad it was, as far I agree with him, because law was taught in a very different only teacher centric. But my principal was again like him, N. Joshi. Said then okay, you first 1 week you get acquainted with the college, and then he gave me a class with 10 students that I don't get intimated with the crowd. So they gave me with 15 students. So I took class for them for a week. Then he called me. He said, now I'll send you to a class of 30 students. So he sent me the next bigger class. And the subjects were the one which are very comfortable with. Then he called me and he said, I think Patil, I can't hold you back anymore. Then he pushed me into the class of 70 students. So by that time I was very comfortable with the teaching. And I agree, my syllabus also got over in 30 minutes, so I didn't know what to do after that.
No, but if you see that legal education has tremendously changed what we studied and what is now. It become more technocratic, more skill based, and more application based. So that's one of the reason why.
And also opportunities also increased,
Much
compared to our days.
See, our days there were only two opportunities: either you become lawyer or you become a teacher.
We'll come to that, sir. But coming back to your passion, when you found passion, was America the turning point?
No, I don't think. I used to teach much before that. Probably my involvement with the moot court has changed my perception. Because what happened, I teach constitutional law just what the subject is, but when it comes to a moot court, somebody gives a problem. Now we start thinking of how do you make your arguments for and against and convincing. So I think probably that, and that I used to sit with the students and prepare basically like a student who is arguing in the moot court. So that connection with the students have developed in the moot. And I still remember when we beat National Law School and all other top law colleges and won P.N. Bhagavati moot court competition when I was here. The day they are going to leave Goa to reach Bangalore, the whole night with the students and myself was in the college. Whole night. Morning at 7 o'clock, Principal Pinero called me and asked me, where are you?
This is what year?
I think 98 or 99 probably. No,
Who were the students?
not maybe 99 or 2000.
Who were the students?
Pooja, Bharne and Parag Rao and John,
Ajay.
Ajay Thomas.
So that means 99
or 2000. So we used to work in the nights. And those were the days, principal says, okay, don't come tomorrow, go and sleep home. So that kind of flexibility was there at that time.
So that is when you started moot courts?
No, I started moot court much before. I started moot court in 19...
Not you, in the college.
In the college we started in 1997.
Because I know some of the alumni events, when they would come 1980s, they would say that the only exposure to moot court was when we would go to Delhi or Mumbai somewhere.
Yeah.
But 2000, there was clear distinction that you could experience here. So a lot of them were grateful that we had only seen it maybe when we would go with our father or somewhere.
Yeah.
But when we joined this college, you had first-hand experience.
See, what happened is 93 I completed my LLM, worked for 1 year in Karimnagar, then shifted to Tirupati in 95, 96, 2 years I taught in Tirupati. In Tirupati, we started this moot courts. So I had an experience of an year and a half about moot court, and we came to Goa. And 96, we took the team to Bhubaneswar for the first time, which we reached to semi-finals. 97, we organized Bar Council of India moot in Goa.
Okay.
This was the first time organizing. So that has given a lot of
So is it like a competition? Was it like a competition?
It was a national competition. Only universities used to participate. Usually moot courts college participate, but Bar Council moot is that only university can represent. That means if we have 10 colleges under one university, there would be an internal competition and one team will be. And we had that time 34 colleges participate, universities participated all over from India. So that has given an exposure.
So that is what where your passion began.
Probably I could say yes.
And I think when you go into clinical, practical kind of teaching, it becomes more tough.
More tough.
Because your planning is more of a planning goes in that.
That's one of the reasons why I always say great knowledge doesn't make you a great teacher. A great communication will make you a good teacher. So how do you see, as a teacher's duty is to simplify what is the tough things to the students and put in a perspective. And also you need somebody who could encourage. See, I couldn't have done what I have done in this college if the management and the college principal and the colleagues are not supportive. We brought a lot of changes. And then I went 1 year to Indian Law Institute in Delhi as a professor. I think in 2011, if I'm not mistaken. Then I came back. That Delhi exposure was, of course, financially suffered some loss, traveling, going, coming.
Delhi
back.
for what?
I actually took a leave here and joined as a professor in Indian Law Institute, which is supposed to be the premier research institute in India. It is under the Supreme Court. That exposure to the Delhi has also opened up for so many research areas. Then I came back here, became principal for one term. Then I did bring some changes. We introduced that international competitions and all those things. But at the end, I felt I am more a teacher than a principal. So I could not take second term in spite of several requests. So came back to the teaching.
Okay, now that you have briefly told about both of you, and it can be known that you are both very senior, almost having more than 2 decades of experience in teaching, especially this college.
Yeah.
So now,
Yes.
if someone, student in higher secondary wants to choose law,
Yes.
why they should choose law?
Why they should choose law? See, when someone comes and asks, what should I do after 12th? Law can be a very good option because sheer opportunities that it gives once you pass out from this institution. That is one aspect of it, looking into the future. But more than that, legal education always helps. Whether you are into practice or whether you are a lawyer or not, but having that legal knowledge helps you in your day-to-day affairs. So that knowledge is definitely going to help you, because see, my suggestion is law is the best option as of now, because the number of people attempting to join law college is ever increasing. Take the CLAT, the number of people attempting for the CLAT is ever increasing. Number of colleges are coming up, more and more colleges are coming up, more and more opportunities are opening up. So this is a high time that legal education is in its it is in its prime. So this is a high time that you should enter and you should get qualified.
What about you, sir?
See, law has become one of the option after 12th because we started this 5-year course. When we were till I think 97 in Goa, there was no 5-year course. We have only 3 years course. That is, after graduation you come and join law. But when you are going for medicine and engineering after 12th, why not for law? That's the idea. And then mooted by Bar Council, finally we adopted in 98. So therefore now, earlier you have 2 options. Either you want to become engineer or a doctor. But now we have provided you a third option. And third option is a professional. That is also a professional course. Therefore, naturally the interest would be, in the beginning at least, I would say, I don't get medicine, I don't get engineering, and I don't want to go for graduation, because the science like BA, the BSc has lost its charm of biology, chemistry, those kind of things. What I do after joining BA History, Political Science, if I am not very interested in that, I am not saying they are bad.
The trend that I see now is, earlier when we were studying, a lot of students would go into engineering and medicine.
Exactly.
But as soon as our generation, stopped that after that, and now they are looking to other field.
Yeah, that's
So a lot of people who would have naturally gone to engineering, not because they have not got the seat,
because
they are
option.
making a choice.
That's right.
So you see the merit list that we get here. They have got very good marks and they have intentionally come here.
So that's what I'm trying to say. If I, after 12th, if I don't want to go to BCom or BSc or BA, what is my next option? Either engineering or medicine. But now you are given a law as an option. Though initially the law was preferred by the students who don't get into those, but today the trend is completely changed.
Actually, I have not faced this question, the question that you raised, because the question I face from my friends is which law college we should join.
Okay.
So the decision is already taken, they want to do law. The question is which law college I should go for.
Yeah.
So therefore, now I think younger generations are preferring this area. Only thing is we are worried about the quality education. That's the thing.
Should we just wait? Should we take some small break, Roshan?
Option they are joining, but the opportunities that has opened up afterwards. Now earlier either practice teach, now there are law officers in every company, there are law firms have developed. Now the students immediately completing law, joining in the law firms starts with the salaries, and the transaction lawyers have increased in multifold, arbitration has come with a big way, and all of a sudden law is looking very
Lucrative.
looks like a green pasture, like medicine, and then it's also like you are a boss of your own thing, kind of thing. So it's a lot of advantage being a lawyer. I'll give you one reason. If there is a disaster, lawyer is required. If there is a pandemic, lawyer is required. If there is a recession, all companies wind up, lawyer is required. If they are doing well, lawyer is required.
Even AI proof.
Yeah, everything. See, that is where the lawyer has become an integral part of the development. Of course, I do agree that the Indian economy growing also has a lot of impact on the legal education, how it is started.
There is always also this perspective, like when you are in your 10th standard and all, you are a teenager. Sometimes you fight with your friend or with some neighbor or something, and then you will say, I will do law, and because I get that a lot from a lot of people, that I have done law to take some revenge.
Right.
But I think they sober down later.
No, when someone in the family who speaks a lot, they say he can be a good lawyer because he is all the time is speaking. But actually, a good lawyer is the one who speaks only when he's paid, not the one who speaks a lot.
Okay. Coming back to what happened yesterday, our Chief Minister has announced a new reform within the 12th standard Marksheet, that now it will be neutral, that there will not be a discipline mention on the Marksheet, rather it will be just the marks, and then that person can take that Marksheet and go to probably any college and take admission. Now when this kind of thing happens, it becomes very neutral for a student. Higher secondary doesn't become a base for anything. You are once again can do a fresh start. In that scenario, does someone having a science stream or a commerce stream or an art stream or vocational, does it benefit either of the stream to come in law, or it is neutral? We'll take MRK sir first here.
So first let us be candid about it. First question is it a good move or is it a bad move? I feel that it is a positive move. Whether that would impact law, it doesn't. Because law college already taking anybody, any stream can come to law college. Okay. There would be several criticisms that I see, is that how come a commerce student would do physics. But if you look at a science student can come to history, economics, accountancy, political science, anything. And Ramrai, you should look at even at the PG level, forget about the graduation level, post-graduation level. A BSc student is allowed to join in sociology, history, political science. Then what is their basis for political science? Do they have? They don't. So therefore, there will be a challenge when you are changing from one stream to another stream. The best way of looking at it is, why don't we could able to offer some bridge courses or foundational courses to make them ready to that.
See, don't you think that it's an artificial compartmentalization that has been done? So 10th, I didn't do well, maybe for many reasons. So I don't get admission because it's a highly competitive world. So science I don't get, I get into commerce. That means the compartment is fixed. So I have to go on the say straight line I have to travel just because of one mistake.
No, let me further explain. When I am doing my 7th standard, from 7th standard to 10th standard, we used to have two different mathematics subjects. One is called as a composite maths, other one is called as a general maths. If I choose general maths, I cannot join in 11th standard for maths stream.
Okay, maths is closed.
That is engineering. You can never become an engineer.
Never become an engineer.
Because to become an engineer, you need maths, chemistry and physics. But from 7th to 10th, if I am not joined in composite maths, that's what happened to me. I preferred general maths because it's a little easier. Algebra and all those things will be lesser than this. So now one stream is cut off from me. Yeah. Now that changed. Now we brought it, everybody can go to engineering if you have a maths. The next move was whether you study mathematics or not, now we are allowing for NEET as well as engineering same. The same fellow can write for both. Earlier it was not there. So that means the changes are happening.
It's actually a wrong question to ask. How commerce students with accountancy background will study physics? If I can study, let me study now. It's I who should decide.
And provide me the facility to study.
Yeah, you give me facility, that's it.
And the information that is students are exposed today, suddenly you may generate, like in pandemic, I developed a new interest in finance. Which is completely away from I was spending my whole time on it.
I can give you n number of examples where engineers from IITs started turning into history.
Yeah,
humanities is a big thing in IITs.
And they're writing books on history.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, that's the kind of thing that a person wanted to pursue.
So flexibility should be there throughout, not just at the time of 10th or 12th.
That is what NEP also talking about.
Yeah.
We may develop interest at any time. Any point of time, a new interest may be developed.
See, when we are offering history, political science and economics in law, not necessarily that the student after completing law would go into only practice. He may pick up interest in economics or history and do something else. Why to stop?
And it also helps when you look at, because the focus of government everywhere now in the education field is multidisciplinary.
And I forgot to mention, now the Bar Council allowed BSc law,
LLB.
BA LLB, BSc LLB, BTech LLB, MBBS LLB. You have n number of combinations of LLB, you can do it.
Okay.
And when you are doing double degree program, 1 year less you will study. Suppose engineering is 4 years, law is 5 years. 4 plus 5, 9. In 8 years you will finish that. And now what is the advantage? And I have seen when I used to be a visiting professor in Goa Institute of Management, in MBA course, almost 50% of them are engineers. Some of them are engineers, done law, came back to MBA.
Yeah.
So it's their choice. Why should we stop?
And the second question, whether any specific discipline helps law or it doesn't. Whether science helps law or arts help law or commerce help law.
See, my take on that is a lawyer needs to be a jack of all trade. Maybe master of none, but he must know something about everything. As far as passing the law course is concerned, a person with arts background can become can take up a BA LLB because there will be art subjects in that. But as far as practice is concerned, or profession is concerned, you have to have some knowledge of everything. Because I came across with an advocate by name Patil. When he used to cross-examine a doctor, the first question he used to ask the doctor is, which book you studied in your MBBS for anatomy subject? I will ask questions from that book. See, he is a lawyer, but his expertise is cross-examining the doctors. So he has studied that area. So they have to know something about everything.
And don't you think it in the law, especially in the 5-year course or the LLB degree, there are ample opportunities and ample subjects where even if you have done arts, it will benefit you. Even if you have done commerce, let's say there is taxation law. Even in science, there are some law specific where you can pursue those.
Yes.
Yes, let me put bluntly, because he is talking about in general.
Yeah.
Now, if I am studying history, political science, etc. in 12th standard, definitely you will have some base to understand constitutional law, administrative law, etc. You have some advantage. Similarly, you are coming from a commerce background where you have studied some kind of a contract, consumers, etc. You have that advantage. And particularly when you are doing 3 years LLB, you coming from BSc background, the patent attorneys can have only when you have a science background.
Yeah.
So it has its own advantage for every stream. But ultimately, what is law? Law is nothing but a logic. Therefore, anybody has a logic, anybody has a common sense, would able to manage the law. That's why I don't say one particular stream has an advantage, other has a disadvantage. Everybody has an advantage.
Okay. Next is the admission process.
Yeah.
I remember once you sharing your own admission story about the entrance exam.
Yes.
So can you share that first and then we go to the process of?
Yeah. See, what happened is, I think 1986 or 87, the first time the Andhra Pradesh government introduced LAWCET, that is Law Common Entrance Test. So all law colleges, if they want to admit the student has to pass that entrance exam. Till before that, it was direct admission into the college. So now, for me to join in law, I had to first buy an application. Unlike now, you directly fill into the computer, pay the fees and done it. Then the application will come to my home. I have to fill the application, pay the fees by demand draft, send again, then go and write exam. Problem is, the time we didn't have a money even to buy an application. So we had to sell all old newspapers and other things and got that money to buy application first. Then one of my uncle paid my fees. Then once I was selected and admitted into the college, another uncle helped me every month, my fees and other things. It was a struggle because those days opportunities are less. Today, even if you are not well off, you could still do a part-time job and also study.
And even law education is highly subsidized.
Yes, if it is a government, yes.
Yeah.
But today there are national law schools and private universities. Their fees are very high.
Yeah.
And I can't blame them. I'm not saying that they are bad, because they have to pay the salaries to the teachers and maintain the infrastructure. If the government supports, then that's the best ideal situation.
But there is something for everything in terms of financially getting into the system.
Most of the colleges offer need-based scholarships.
Yeah.
They are not based on your merit, but it is based on need.
So let's go towards the entrance exam process.
Yeah.
Because there are entrance exam, it's of common knowledge. What is the entrance exam and how it is for BALLB? Let's take BALLB first.
You are talking about our college?
Our college.
Yes. In Goa.
Yes.
In Goa.
In Goa, our college.
In Goa, there are 2 colleges, and earlier they used to have, each college used to have their own entrance exam, but now after the pandemic, it was decided to have a common entrance test. So now the common entrance test tests the ability of the students of basic maths up to 8th standard, 9th standard. It looks at your general knowledge, your aptitude for law, English, grammar. There are about 5-6 parameters on which the questions were asked. And this is, and another thing is that they also take 50% weightage from the 12th marks 50% weightage is given for the entrance exam. And combined together, there would be a merit list.
Merit list, yeah.
And the students have an option to choose either our college, that is Salgaocar Law College, or the Kare Law College. It is their option.
Okay.
Okay, so right now, earlier it was a little complicated. You have to write exam there and exam here, but now process is very simplified. So if any student who is interested in doing law, so they need to be updated with current knowledge. That's very important. Because as a lawyer, you should know what is happening in this country and the world. That's why current affairs, constitution, the ability to analyze the rules, regulations, that is what we call as legal aptitude, etc. You need to prepare for that.
So they might as well be appearing for other exams also.
Maybe.
I think the only thing that changes for law college are the constitution subject.
Current affairs,
Current affairs and constitution.
aptitude.
Apart from that,
And the legal aptitude.
legal aptitude.
Legal
Everything else remains the common.
Yes.
Okay, so this is their focus
This is
should
for
be.
ours. Otherwise, at the national level, we have different. Each state has their own entrance exam. There is a CLAT for all national law schools.
All national schools have CLAT.
And Jindal has LSAT. So each one has a different method.
NLU Delhi has its own.
The NLU Delhi has its own. The Symposies have their own entrance
own
exam.
entrance.
But some of the colleges do consider the score of CLAT for their admissions. But in Goa, we don't consider. Goa is they have to write this entrance exam.
Okay.
And the entrance exam is also created some kind of level playing field for the students coming from different boards.
Recently, we see a lot of female students joining. Has it always been this trend? Because we see almost 80% maybe.
It's not a recent trend. I don't think. It is there from last 20-25 years. The trend is same.
For law.
No, when we were studying, the trend was exactly opposite. We used to in my class we have 160 students in the batch. We hardly have about 15 to 20 females. But now it has changed. Probably last 15 years has changed the trend. One reason is that many women are also coming for education. It's not only law, but most of the educational institutions have seen a surge of women coming to studies.
But it's almost 80% now.
Right now, yes.
Right now it's almost.
I still couldn't figure out why there was so much fascination among the female students for the law.
Or I think it's because male men don't want to come. Boys don't.
One reason could be, again, it's a guess.
Yeah.
That they are more interested in engineering and medicine and all those things, whereas women is evenly distributed.
Okay. So we offer BLLB, LLB, LLM and PhD.
Correct.
But first two we will deal with in this podcast. So what is BLLB? What is the BLLB course?
BALLB,
Yeah.
you want to go ahead?
Yeah, BALLB is a 5 years course, and as the name suggests, there's a BA in that. So they study economics, political science, and history, and then the other law subjects. So these three are categorized as a non-law subjects for a BALLB course, and it is divided into 10 semesters. So once the student join, they have to complete all these 10 semesters. And
So this is for after 12th.
after 12th. And history and political science, there is going to be around how many subjects? How many?
No, see, it is, it's like BALLB, we call it as a double degree program. Means at the end of 5 years to get 2 degrees, BA and law.
Integrated.
It is called as an integrated double degree program. If you want to do BA, then come to law. You do 3 years BA, 3 years law, it becomes 6 years. By this time, you are getting into 5 years. So 1 year benefit is given to you. And as the Bar Council prescribes the syllabus, we have to offer one major in non-law subjects. Either it could be political science, sociology, history, whatever it is. So there will be 3 language courses. That is English 1, 2, special English or Portuguese, you have an option. Then you have to complete at least 6 courses in minor subjects. Suppose this college offers political science as a major subject, which you are familiar with, you are the one of the teacher. So the political science, they have 6 papers. Whereas minor, we will have only 3 papers. That means economics we are offering 3 and history we are offering 3. So advantage is that catch them young. That's the idea. BA LLB is catch them young. So the moment you are joining into a law course, you are giving a 5 years commitment means you are really a serious student. Whereas in case of 3 years course, they have already completed graduation. They are coming to the law, but in between they are eligible for certain jobs and all. If that comes, they may go. So that's one of the highlights.
And here in BA LLB, I think from the first year itself, you have law subjects.
Yes, that's
although there are major political science, history.
Non-law subject goes up to 4th year. But it's 8 semester.
History is 4th year.
When it was started, after 3 years, they used to get a BGL degree, Bachelor in General Laws, which is equivalent to any graduation.
Okay.
So after that, you can leave the law college and go for any other course where degrees, the graduation is made. But today it is not. There is no lateral exit.
Yeah.
So you have to either you complete 5 years, you get both the degrees. If you don't complete, you don't get anything.
I think that's one thing which we should.
And also look at that. It is not only BA LLB. It could be BSc LLB, BBA LLB, BCom LLB. Though we are offering only BA LLB.
I think NIP has made a lot of provisions with regards to that. If someone is leaving also, it is not considered as a failure.
But
you can
but
always
the problem is NEP doesn't apply to law college.
Yeah. But I think we should also
because it is said that if somebody discontinues a course, teachers think that course is tough. But actually when you conduct a research, it is found that they quit the course because course was boring. There is nothing called as tough for a student. He can manage any subject. He has to push himself, and he can do that only if it is interesting. So therefore, lateral entry, lateral exit is a good development in NEP, where a person, if he finds himself in a wrong place, he can take an exit and make a lateral entry in another course.
But when it comes to the law, because it is completely controlled by the professional body of Bar Council of India, it didn't agree that lateral entry and lateral exit, which is there earlier. In 2008, they changed this. From 2008 onwards, no lateral entry and no lateral exit. That means earlier, once you finish graduation, you can directly come and join in the 3rd year of the 5 years course. But now, because the subjects are come across up to 8th semester, you cannot do that. So that's not possible for them to lateral entry. Now, if somebody want to take a break, even now it is available, because double the duration you have to complete your course. If it is 5 years course, you have to finish in 10 years. So take a break 1 year and come back.
Can you give me a breakdown of how much theoretical courses and practical, shift to practical, at what year it goes? In the 5-year course.
In the 5-year course, only final year, that is 9th and 10th semesters, they have practical papers. But for our practical ease, so what we do is we introduce these practical components from 3rd year or 4th year onwards. So each semester we introduce moot courts and other things, so that phase wise they get introduced to these practical components. So there are 4 practical components. Moot court is one, and ADR is one, and ADR is coupled with legal aid in this college. So the university has given an opportunity to include legal aid as a part of the ADR subject. Then we have ethics as one practical component. So all these things are drafting, DPC. That's a very important subject, where the students are taught to draft the conveyancing deeds as well as petitions. So that is these all are come in the final year.
But I think from 3rd year onwards, the practical training starts.
What Professor Patil is explaining is the structure, how it happens.
Yeah.
But my take is that this clinical education or practical thinking whatever we are talking about. Not necessarily that should be taught separately as a practical paper. It has to be included in each subject that you are teaching. Complement, exactly. Say for example, when we are talking about moot court is coming in final year, but the students are exposed in the second year itself going to the competition. Now we have trial advocacy which is not fitting into any practical paper prescribed, but we do that. So hence, in a law college, particularly in this college compared to most of other traditional colleges, the practical component is much higher in the classrooms. And even you know that we have introduced one of the internal assessment is a problem based.
We'll come to that, sir.
Yeah. So in each subject, when you are teaching, the teacher uses different methodology. The idea is that you sit together and think what kind of skills that a lawyer is required to perform the profession. Now, how do you offer that in the classroom? It could be a debate, it could be a brainstorming, it could be something role model.
In one of the subject.
The teaching methods will come much later.
So therefore, don't look at how many subjects they are offering, but you have to look at how the curriculum is taught in the class.
Okay.
Because when you talk about,
so therefore, to answer straight away your question, for practical papers standard.
That is what Falin Nariman in one of the speech said. It is not what you teach, it is how you teach.
How you teach, exactly.
That makes the full difference.
Because what happens is, if you take a leaf from what he said, the practical, every paper is a practical paper in this college. Because
in a sense, yes.
Yeah, we expect the student to solve the problems. That's a practical application of the knowledge that they have studied. In one of the subject, we introduced identification of the facts, classification of the facts. So there are many things that
I will come to that, because when I teach evidence, how do I teach?
So now you are covered with BLLB. Now what is LLB degree? Or it is just LLB?
It is called LLB. Basically, it is after graduation, you come to law college to study for 3 years.
Okay.
And
so someone who has done BSc, BCom,
engineering, medicine, even post-graduation,
okay,
they can come back to LLB.
And there are people who come from post-graduation also.
Yes.
There are people coming from MBBS background.
Yes, they do. See, for example, I have seen this is much higher in America, where you are into a health professional. After doing 10-15 years into the health, they come to the law school, study the law, and become a litigator, all in medical malpractices.
Yes. So because experience is also they consider for educational institute in America.
That's one difference that I see in LLB and BA LLB is the diverse background of LLB classroom brings more of discussions, because they try to understand the law with their background in mind.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So the baggage that they carry makes them understand the same provision differently.
And it is little more challenging to teach LLB 3 years than 5 years course. The 5 years course, the students are catching them very young. Therefore, for them, whatever we teach in the class is sufficient and they are okay with that. But when you are teaching for an LLB course where the students coming from different walks of life, where they have already experienced, some of them bring their own personal problems into the class and ask the questions. And I found this very high when I am teaching in a management course, where these people have already worked 3-4 years and then come to MBA. When I am teaching the contract, they used to bring how they entered into a contract, whether that clause would have been valid, how do I draft that clause to. So those kind of things that comes when you have an experience. So in a sense, I don't say that BA LLB is better than LLB or LLB is better than BA LLB. Both have a different.
Both have their own advantages. And I think also the factor of age. At what age LLB degree student comes. I think that plays a lot of difference into your classroom engagement.
And LLB is a pure law. There are no BA subjects.
There is no normal subjects.
All are legal subjects.
Because for LLB, even though someone may not have law knowledge, but they have already got enough exposure to different experiences in life.
Yes.
That can help them interpreting law in their own manner. So that maturity, I think, and experiences are missing because here the students are joining at 18.
There's a big difference between BA LLB and LLB students. LLB students have their own story to tell why they are in this college.
Yeah.
Because some students are here in the college because a case is filed against him. And what lawyer and judges are speaking, he is not able to understand. So he had joined the law college so that he can understand what is going on in the court. So they have their own story to tell, and each story is fascinating story. So that is what LLB is, and BA LLB is a different ball game. Here we have caught them at the young age. Their practical experience is almost nil, and they come with an enthusiasm to learn the law.
And when I joined LLM in Vanderbilt University through Fulbright scholarship, the difference that I saw from US and India is the average age of joining into the law college is much higher in America compared to India. And with that, what happened, they have already kind of a vast experience of other things. So how they perceive the law is different from how we perceive law here.
I think what happens in India is everyone thinks that I will complete my education first. Then I'll get married and everything else, because later on they feel that I cannot join because that kind of safety net is not there. That is what people think.
Yeah, and also the other thing that I look at it is the Indian mentality is at a stretch finish your education, then look for a job.
Yeah.
So it's not that they're both together.
So that is Brahmacharya, Grihastha Ashram and Vanaprastha. So we don't mix them.
No, and I'm not saying that there is something wrong as such. It has its own advantage.
Yeah.
And the second reason I see is, if you see, mostly in India, the part-time jobs are not encouraged. I'll just give you an example. Suppose if I want to work in a petrol pump, as simple as petrol pump, would he allow me to work 3 to 6 in the evening and pay some money? They never.
No.
Whereas in US and other places, they have hourly based payment. Say for example, if there is a rush at 2 o'clock for a restaurant, he may be hiring 2 extra hands to cover that rush hour and pay for that. And it is always hourly based pay. For us, always monthly based pay. So there are 2 different societies. That's the reason why we have, and as a parent, even me, now my daughter is in London School of Economics. We expect her to immediately after that go for PhD. Now she is saying that she wants to take a break. That's what I'm saying. See, the new generation is completely different. Now in India, the new generation, they are different. They are exploring and they have opportunities. That's the advantage. See, the advantage is after studying 2 years, after working 2 years, if my daughter wanted to go and join PhD in some place and work for 4 years for PhD without working anywhere, she has that confidence that she will get back into another job, which we never had that. What if this job is gone? That is changing now. Even in India it will be.
So LLB does a good job of taking these people with experience. LLB, MBAs, I think these are the degrees which can absorb these people in India.
Yes.
Right? Any other difference you see on the surface between BLLB and LLB? Apart from already what has been mentioned.
As a teacher, if you want to ask me, maybe 5 years course students, we need to discipline sometimes in the class. That doesn't happen with the degree student, 3 years course students.
Yeah, they are self-disciplined.
But the other way around, if you see, the 5 years course students are much more focused compared to 3 years course. Whether it is moot courts, whether it is other competitions, etc., their focus level is higher because they have already chosen that this is my profession.
And 5-year commitment they have
5-year commitment they are given because they know that they are going to complete.
See, there is a need to conduct a research on compatibility of law program and the age. So a child who has completed 12th, what would be the age?
17, 18.
18 and compatibility with the law, and 21 and compatibility with law. That research is required to be done, because what happens is we are all looking into one aspect of it. Nobody is checking the suitability. because when you talk to us, you must have realized that a person with an experience is more suitable for law. That's what impression you are getting now. Now, whether it is true,
No,
whether
I didn't say that they are more suitable. They may bring their own experience into law schools to create a different learning atmosphere.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
but if you look at that way, again taking back to the discussion on that working and learning, working and back to learning. Now this process is actually beneficial because you come with a focus based upon your experience. You know, what should I learn from this course, what should I pick up from this course, and what is going to help me in my profession from this course. So that 1-2 years of break from education and experience
From
helps.
sociological point of view, the average marriageable age when our generation was hardly 18 to 21. Now that has gone up to 26, 27, some of them marrying as late as 30, 35. So that gives them that flexibility of changing places to places, learning. So that
Another thing for LLB is a lot of married people come.
Yes, they do.
Many married people.
Many
That
married
cannot
people.
happen in a BLLB.
BLLB.
That after 12th standard cannot happen.
No.
So that it does.
See, that's what I'm saying. Each
Yes,
one
yes,
has a
very
different
flexible
learning
experience.
No, you tell me in what way marriage helps in education.
No, I'm just saying because it's one of the deciding factor for a lot of people.
Domestic violence, they will understand better.
And
Okay, now you told about the average age. What was your age of when you got married?
No, I am exception.
Exception.
I am exception.
Okay. Now let's come back to our classrooms. How is a normal day in a class be like for both of you? You come, you have maybe first or second lecture. How is it? You go to a class. What is it like?
The classroom atmosphere, if I take up the classroom atmosphere of the people who are sitting here,
Yeah.
their class, it's always filled, and the moment I enter the classroom, I take first 1 or 2 minutes to discipline them because they have to sit and start listening. But once the class begins, there are a lot of doubts that is raised in our discussion, and each and every doubt leads to a further discussion. So my only worry when I'm discussing, the only worry that I always have in my mind is, am I answering to one small bunch of the students in the classroom, or whether I'm communicating to the whole class? Because a class is not one organism. It is a combination of 60 people, and 60 people come with 60 minds and 60 different interests, and you should appeal to every one of them. But if you are able to appeal to 10 out of that 60, then the 50 students are not coming with you when you are taking them on a journey of law, learning of the law. So that is the worry that I have every time. So therefore what I do is I ask one part of the classroom to answer one question, and I force the other part to reply to that. So that's how I carry on my lecture with them. But generally my one day in the college would be taking up the lectures and then getting into an administrative part of it, because that again takes a lot of time, because many teachers would be waiting to meet me. And then large chunk of the time,
HOD now.
yeah, I am head of the department, and large chunk of the time is taken by the students who are representing the college in international and national events, maybe client counseling, or maybe negotiation, or maybe moot court. So I have to guide them. So that takes
Okay,
large
so
part of
which are the teaching methods that you use? One is lecture mode that all of us do use.
Yeah.
Apart from that,
see, there are certain planned methods which I plan and go to the class, but then some of them are extempore that strikes to my mind on the spot. And the most common method that I use is bare act method, where I ask the students to read the section and try to analyze the section and try to understand the section and explain to me. And I go to each student and asking them how well they have cracked the section. And if I do that for the first 15 days of the semester, later they are empowered to learn by themselves. So that is one bare act method that I use, and it works well.
Okay. How about you, sir?
See, I agree what he is saying about the challenge that you face in a classroom, where all students are not at the same level. I am not saying they are dumb students and they are intelligent students. Their learning capacities are different, and their how much that their mind process is different from each person, the capacity. Therefore, one side you cannot ignore those 10 or 15 who are.
It is also the interest.
Exactly. Interest on the subject, the teacher, there's so many things that works. Suppose you do in a very crude manner, you want to divide the class. The top class who understands, maybe some people in the middle, major chunk of the classroom who understands if you repeat second time, third time. And maybe around 10% of the students, very difficult for them to understand. If that is what, I'm not saying it is scientific division as such. If that is how your class is, it becomes a challenge for everybody and to me also. I need to give something for those 10% or 15% who are very studious, otherwise they get bored if I go to 2 basics. And the middle chunk usually will not be a problem for us to handle, but will be that the 10% of the students either not interested, not able to connect to the subject, becomes difficult. So that is where, and particularly unlike Professor Patil, who teaches into a higher classes, I generally teach first year and second year. So therefore, it's kind of more challenging for me. I cannot pounce on each student and ask, because that will have a demotivation.
Our classes are 60 students
60
in a class.
students in a
it is
class.
very difficult, and we have 1 hour duration usually.
50 minutes actually.
50 minutes.
50 minutes duration. But earlier we used to teach 80 students. Now it has reduced to 60. Now I do use a lot of case method and Socratic method to a large, and then we also.
So what is Socratic method?
Socratic method, I don't know whether you heard about this expression. They say Socrates never taught anything. He used to only ask questions. So the saying is that you can teach nothing, but you can learn everything. So he used to ask right questions to the students, and the students gives answer. From there he used to pick up another question. This was mostly used in American law schools. The teacher would ask a student, what is your opinion about this? Then the student has to come up with something. From there he will pick up as some other student. So predominantly it is a lecture method, but while giving lecture method, we always put questions to the students.
And what is a case method?
Case method is take any particular decided case, project it, and ask them to comment on that.
So you give them one legal case.
Yes.
They prepare about it. They come to class.
Not necessarily.
It can
not
be current
necessarily.
affair also, no?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I can project I can inform what are the facts of the case and ask the students to reflect on it.
Okay. So you inform them about the case.
Yes. What you are asking is, I use that for a team learning method.
Okay.
In the team learning method, what did I do is, I give them some problems, hypothetical problems. I told them to solve at home and come to the college.
Group assignment.
No, they individually solve and come to the class.
And
then in the class, I will team them, I will group them as a teams. Then I will ask each team member to reveal their answers to other teams, other members of the team, and discuss and decide which one to follow. For example, if 3 of us are a team, you said he is liable and we both say not liable. Now we all 3 should discuss and convince each other and come to one answer.
Yeah.
Then we will ask each team what is their answer and why they come. Now, if the different teams have given different answers, and again I will ask them to think back, looking at their answers, whether you want to change your answer or not. But the problem is I cannot use this method continuously because it takes a lot of time and it should be a smaller groups. So that's why we use different methods. Brainstorming we use sometimes we use simulations. It depends.
What is a simulation?
Simulation is giving a role play kind of thing. For example, client counseling is a simulation where we tell the student to act as a lawyer. One student would be acting as a lawyer. Other student act as a client. So the client walks in and tells about the client's problem. So the lawyer has to conduct the interview, collect the information, ask additional information, and advise the client.
Okay.
So that's a simulation.
See, one thing what I realized with so many years of experience, the methods that we are discussing here should be like a pickle in a meal. Lecture method is the food, and this pickle brings spice into the whole lecture delivery system, the knowledge delivery system. It cannot replace the lecture method.
So when I say lecture method, I mean presentation.
You lecture method or maybe discussions, whatever may be your thing, but the teacher is the center of the class, where there is a knowledge is being imparted through a method of communication. It may be audio visual because we may make a PPT and then make a presentation.
But you must be also knowing that a large part of teaching is about showing presentation and explaining topics.
Yeah, explain the topic exactly.
So should we move away from, or that will still become the central part of the classroom?
The whole problem in this world is this or that.
Yeah.
So it need not be that way. We can always find a mid path.
Okay.
So should we move away from it is not an answer. But should we reduce the usage of that? Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, it should be reduced. So
let me give you this way. One, we have to accept the fact that lecture method is a mother of all other, and it is going to stay and it is not going to completely lose. Now say for example, if I ask the students to read so many things and come to a conclusion, where the teacher is giving the synthesis of the whole thing. So this is lecture method is a faster method of transferring the knowledge to the other person. Therefore, wherever the transfer of knowledge is necessary, the lecture method would be predominant. So therefore, whether we should away from lecture method, I wouldn't say no, but maybe bring substantial amount of other methods into lecture method. So that means it should be a hybrid method of lecturing and other. Then the question also comes, the time that we have and the interest of the students, the quality of the teacher, quality of the students, all matters for that.
So in a non-lecture method, does students have more pressure to prepare and come to class?
Yeah, not in always. Not in all.
Because see, when you make it
for example, when you are asking all
let's
of
say
us,
you do role play or a case method or a debate and discussion. In this,
therefore, they have to think.
Yeah.
But also prepare a lot.
Sometimes yes, sometimes may not. Suppose in a brainstorming method, say for example, I say that this is one group, this is one group, this is one group. Now brainstorm and give me options. So you are not preparing. What you are doing is you are thinking and rethinking about it.
See, the present world with communication explosion, the information is available on our fingertips, and at this juncture, role of a teacher has changed, and it is going to further change. So lecture method will continue not to impart knowledge, because knowledge is already available everywhere, information is available everywhere. Why a lecture method is required here is, in the present world, what is important when information is available, the most important thing is the clarity. So the teacher is going to be the person who is going to provide a clarity to the student when he is actually sinking in the information. He is actually getting drowned in the information and the knowledge. So that clarity would be brought by the teacher.
I think your information, knowledge, two different things. What you have is an information now. It's an information explosion. How much of that information to be taken and how much you will understand, that's a knowledge transfer. For example, when I ask a student who has no much idea about law, make a small presentation on freedom of speech and expression. What the student would do? Straight away will put freedom of speech and expression into the Google and collect whatever the information is available, and usually the first or two hits that he will take and come and present without knowing whether he is talking about Indian freedom of speech and expression or it is an American freedom of speech. It did happen in my class also when a student was asked to make the presentation. It started with my first amendment has brought freedom of speech and expression as a fundamental right. That's an American situation. It's not, because the student also doesn't. Therefore, though I agree to a large extent the teacher's relationship has changed, but teacher as a guiding star to learn the knowledge is still there. Earlier, the teacher used to collect from 3-4 books and pass that information to the student, where the student has no access to it. Now access is there, but my worry is more access is there. Now you lost in where to look at. That is where the teachers...
And what are the tools that are there in our classes? Like one is smart boards.
No, see, one good thing that happened, at least for us, is right from the beginning, we were experimenting with the technology. Maybe early 2000, we had these
OHPs.
overhead projectors. Kind of a box, there would be a projection and there is a light down, and then we have to put on transparent sheets, we have to write or print, put there, and it will project. Then I have to remove and put another. So we bought projectors for each room. And to believe, we had to have a problem because we are a government college. Government aided college, sorry. We don't have money to do all those things. With the benefit of some management and here and there, we bought. And even the servicing, we have to pay for that. And few of the teachers have learned how to service that also.
Yeah, we used to service.
We used to open it, check and fix it. It's a relatively very simple
technology.
So from there, we went to the projectors, computer and the projector. And each classroom was given one computer and one projector. Now from there, we came to televisions now and to the smart board. So now every classroom has a smart board. Okay. So technological wise, I think we are upgraded.
So smart board is having a PC system.
Yes, it has a PC system. You can use internet. You can save. You can write like a whiteboard, black and white. And you can change, show things, everything is available.
So while your presentation is on, you can also mark it.
Everything.
And also you can get connected to internet if at all any information is
and one advantage that smartboard brings, which earlier the projector doesn't have, is that in case of a projector, I also need a blackboard. Because suppose, see, what is the purpose of the PowerPoint presentation? The purpose of the PowerPoint presentation is to reduce my time to write on the board to some extent. Okay. So PowerPoint is an assistant for me. It is not the method of teaching. Now, if I am putting, say for example, a section. The section has 5-6 lines. If I want to ask them to read or I read, they don't. But if I put there and then divide them into pieces. In a projector, I have to first only make them into pieces, but here I can draw lines, I can do anything. It's much more fun learning. But again,
and carrying forward, this whole recording is happening through the college equipments.
Yeah.
So technologically, we still went further.
College has given us a lot of equipment
Yes.
for this, although a lot of things are not seen here.
Yeah.
In the production.
when pandemic came,
Yeah.
I was a principal that time. When the pandemic came, I was a principal. And all of a sudden we are supposed to conduct everything online. We have absolutely no idea till that time Google Classroom. Never heard about Zoom. I only know Skype because I was in America to contact my. Then WhatsApp came, everything is gone. So now how do you do it? So we have upgraded. The management has given interest-free loans to buy laptops because every teacher has to buy a laptop.
Every teacher had to have a laptop.
And our PCs doesn't work anymore. So the adoption of the technology is done, but again,
I think in that case we are on par with any institution, top institution.
it is much more than that because Ramrai, you know that we have certain legal database. The legal database are based on server-based legal database. Just to make it simple for the audience, we had LexisNexis is a database, legal database, which gives all the judgments of Indian courts, all the judgments of America, Canada, and all the law journals, thousands of law journals, their articles and all. Now, if you want to access that, you have to come to the law college and connect to our server, whether it is you using your phone, laptop, or the law college. But now during the pandemic, how they will come? So therefore, we invested another 2.5 lakh and bought remote access software. So now today's students with that can sit at their home and access to the same. So it was almost a leap where most of the top law colleges are not able to give that we provided.
That's good.
So that is all depends on the leadership and the adaptability.
Okay. So let's take you out of the classroom now.
Yeah.
So beyond the classroom, what do students spend their time on? There is sports, which every college has.
Cultural activities, everybody
There is cultural activities. There are NSS, which is common to most of the colleges.
Yes.
But what is unique to this college, or what is unique to a law college?
Want to go ahead?
Okay. Yeah, you take.
Okay, so let us say we also have co-curricular practices. Means co-curricular means those practices which we don't do in the class but we do outside to strengthen their classroom learning experience. Now my take is, let me say this one. What you learn in the classroom will never make you as a lawyer, and that's not enough. And I always used to tell in my first class, I used to show them a picture of a dough. So this is a raw material for your pizza. When you join in the law college, you are like a dough. And when you sit in my class, you become the pizza base. And anybody will eat pizza base? Nobody will eat. So all those toppings of your mushrooms, bell peppers, and cheese, etc., is what the skills that a lawyer is required. So that is what they learn outside the class, all with moot courts, legal aid.
So what is a moot court?
Moot court is kind of a mock court, means in the actual court, how the lawyers argue their case, how the lawyers present their case. That is what they learn here. So they will be given a problem with the facts of the problem, and the students will be allotted the sides, which side, the petitioner side or respondent side. That suppose, I'll just give you a simple example. Now you enter into a contract with somebody and that fellow refused to perform the contract. Now this is the problem given to the students. So some students will be given the role of yours and some students will be given the role of the respondent. And they have to research, come up with the arguments to convince the court to win the case. That's what precisely lawyer do in the court. So that's one method. And
moot court.
Moot court. And we have client counseling. Client counseling is like, how do you receive the client?
As an advocate?
As an advocate.
When
someone walks into your chamber.
Yeah.
I think this is a skill which has been ignored by most of the institutions in India. But we make sure that every student learn that.
See, right from the beginning when you are receiving the client, making client comfortable, how do you structure your interview? How do you advise the client? So these are all real skills which we teach. And of course ADR, let him explain.
Actually, outside the classroom, I think we keep our students fairly busy. we have a legal aid activity, which is again a
Let's come to
mandatory.
ADR first, since you mentioned already.
Okay, so when we talk about ADR, outside the class we have ADR competitions.
What is ADR?
ADR is alternative dispute resolution systems. So where you are trying to resolve your dispute without going to court through negotiation or a mediation. These are all more informal and
So
cooperative
let's take the
processes.
same example which MRK sir gave. Contract which was not honored.
Not honored.
So you take me as well as the other person
Other
who has
person.
not honored the
Yeah.
contract. You get them
So
separate.
if you had opted for court proceedings, then the moot court is the simulation that will give them an experience of the court. But if you adopt ADR, then what happens here is you would be going to negotiate about this dispute along with the lawyer, and the opposite party will come with his lawyer. So both of you sit and discuss and try to resolve the dispute, and that is a negotiation process. But sometimes what happens is mostly negotiation ends in a deadlock because ego is also involved in every dispute. So we insert another third party called mediator, and this person will be sitting there trying to intervene whenever there is a chance of deadlock, so that the discussion continues. So this is an exercise that we expect every student to do outside the class, and we give them that exposure of learning negotiation skills, mediation skills, and similar to litigation, there is an arbitration. That arbitration
Now,
skills.
to add, we also offered 2 credit course of conflict management and resolution. You were also part of that. So you had given them a political problem to resolve.
Yeah.
So how did you felt that being a non-law teacher and you are coming into this conflict resolution? Do you think that there is a scope for every subject?
Every subject, I believe when you invited me, I was not knowing how to do it, but I finally framed problem. It took me a lot of time to frame the problem. Then when I gave it to students after giving a basic introduction to how political conflicts are different than a law conflict. And when I saw it, I found that it is pretty much the same. All conflicts are same.
Same, yeah.
Just that politics has its own different level of resolving conflict.
Yeah.
But they learn the same as much as they learn in law, I believe.
So that's one of the way that you engage the students apart from the classroom.
And one more thing to add is, when I give a problem and they were resolving it, they would learn on their own.
Yes.
From others. It is not bookish knowledge.
And also the beauty is we frame the problem in a particular direction thinking, but they throw completely a different direction.
Yes, they take it to a different
So
level.
it's a learning experience even for the teachers.
Yeah.
It's a collaborative learning, I would say.
So there is something that you predict will come out of the problem, but there are a lot of things that we have not thought of.
And they are not wrong.
Yes.
And they are not wrong. It is the same with the moot court.
And creative thinking also
Creative
comes.
thinking comes, exactly.
Because this is what Prasad mentioned, that when you learn something in the classroom, and that has to be coupled with the skill.
Yeah.
So the knowledge coupled with the skill make you a good lawyer.
Okay.
A knowledgeable lawyer remains a lawyer. He can never win a case without those skills.
Okay.
And also sometimes what happens, we have a limitation in the classroom. For example, if I am teaching constitution, how much that what is happening in the day-to-day life could be brought into the class, because we also have the pressure of syllabus, their examinations and all. Therefore, we have started in our college the clubs. Like we have constitutional law club, criminal law club, then we have environmental club. Like that we have divided, and there are 15 to 20 students who would be part of that club, and they can have.
And you also started.
No, you started under the political science your own initiation of political leadership. So, don't you think that these things help the students?
Definitely.
So we actually keep students quite busy outside the class. Now moving from moot court, ADR and clubs, if you again further move, we keep students busy in learning and implementing organizational skills, because we organize various events and they are mostly run by the students. No doubt,
That
supervised
is
by
where
the
the legal
teachers.
aid comes.
No,
Not only legal aid, even
this is a Lex Infinitum,
yes.
Lex Infinitum.
international
The
Lex.
competition will come later, sir.
Yeah.
What legal aid, if you can mention?
Yeah,
we
so
can-
so that's the organizational part. Legal aid, if you take up.
Yeah.
Now, legal aid is a flagship program of this college, because we are doing it from last 25 years, and we got national, international recognitions, and we got foreign universities, institutions traveling all the way to study our experience and learn from our experience. And we have been invited to various institutions to share our experiences with them, because it's a really a big achievement of this college that we are running it from last 25 years. So this is
what is legal aid exactly?
actually what we do is we establish legal aid cells in the community. So there are villages, urban centers, villages where we have legal aid cells. 15 to 20 students of this college will go attend the legal aid once in a week.
So
Every
they will
Saturday.
find a place to sit.
They have to find their own place to sit, and as a rule we don't pay for that. It has to be free of cost, because the local community also has to contribute for their own help. So when they go there, they sit for 3 hours, they conduct programs, legal literacy programs for the local community. They have clients, solve their problems of the local clients. They are real clients. Nothing is simulation here. Everything is real. People are real, problems are real, and solutions are also real.
So they go on a same time every Saturday.
Every Saturday, usually 2 to 5, these people sit. Mostly they are into panchayat buildings, some of them are in schools, some of them are in churches, temples. It all depends on the place that is ideally accessible to the public. And one of the advantage of that is, I'll give you, there was a report from the American law schools. The report is Carnegie report. It is called as a Carnegie report. One of the statement when they are researching on how the law is taught in law colleges in America, the statement is American law schools make you smart without any purpose. It's a very strong statement. That means the moment you join in the law college, they ask you to think like a lawyer. Now, when you are telling them to think like a lawyer, then the very purpose for which the law is established is lost. The purpose of the law is to provide justice. That is lost. So therefore, we have very less community engagement. I'm not talking about, forget about law. Every educational institution, what is the purpose? The purpose of the educational institution is for the benefit of the community, not for the benefit of corporate sector. We may ultimately get job.
But even someone in corporate,
No.
this aspect may help.
I'm coming to that. So you cannot design your education to the needs of the factories, companies, and the market. You may. Ultimately, somebody has to get a job. But the prime object of the education is not to supply the labor force to them. The prime object of the education is to improve the community. Therefore, if a law college is in this community, and if some injustice is happening in the community, if not the law school, who will question? That's the idea. So that is where the students of the law are expected to bring the change by providing access. For example, our students do a lot of paralegal services, drafting affidavits, drafting applications, etc. And we also have these specialized clinics in the college.
There's one, I'll tell you the impact of this legal aid activity. One student came to me and he said, sir, I want to make an application to Panchayat to put up the concave mirrors at the corners, because those mirrors show the oncoming traffic, no? So when you are entering into the main road. Then I asked him, so why you felt the necessity of these things? Sir, in the MRK village, the roads are narrow and there are too many roads entering into the main road, and there is a high chance that there may be an accident. Then I was curious. I asked him, did you met with an accident? That's why you felt the necessity? He said, no sir, I have not experienced it, but I feel that that is a necessity. So I asked him, see, you are born there, you are brought up there, but why you felt the necessity now? But you are there from 20 years. Then he said, sir, first time you made me to think in that line, that if any local problem is there, find a solution for that. So now we started thinking about, now sir, I see so many problems in my village. Otherwise I am living with that as a routine, as it's a part of life.
So they have made me in charge for the Fonda legal aid cell. And in my interaction, I found that if an individual is there and when he sees a problem in the community, he may not respond it. But when there is a banner,
Yes.
Yeah.
so there is a Fonda free legal aid or the legal aid of MAPSA or Vasco, anywhere. There is a banner, there is a your group is there, people are there who can work towards that cause. So that banner plays a large role.
Yes.
Correct.
I think some of our products, our alumni, have got into NGOs and.
If you want, I can give you a story on this. What happened in Andhra Pradesh? There were a couple who were daily wage workers walking into their farm where they are working in the early morning when the sun is not even raised. That night it was heavily rained. So while they are walking, the husband accidentally stepped on a live electric wire which is snapped and instantly died. Now the landlord will not give because they are just daily wage workers and it's not his fault. Now this case came to my brother. And they are daily wage workers, they has absolutely no money to continue. My brother gave a free legal aid. Case was filed in district forum, consumer
Commission, yeah.
consumer. The district forum awarded compensation. Electricity department, instead of giving the money, they appealed to state forum. Because it is in the same state, my brother still represented. State forum confirmed it. They went to national forum. And by the time they must have paid the fees of the lawyer more than what is the compensation required for them. Now this case went to Delhi. Now what to do? We have absolutely no connection with them. Now who will take free legal aid there? One of our students, his name is Arjun Natraj. I called him. I asked Arjun, this is the problem, can you help? You know what happened? He said, sir, few days back I started my own practice. And this is the first case. And I said, the first case is a pro bono case, means free legal aid case. Will you do it? He said, definitely sir, it is my duty to do it. Because he has undergone that legal aid here. And he represented the national forum and got confirmation. So that's possible, that it changes the attitudes. So therefore, even if you join in corporate sector, students who had undergone the legal aid would have that soft card.
Same thing. One student called me and he said, sir, can you be an arbitrator? I said that would be a great opportunity. So then he started telling that, sir, we have an arbitration agreement where we can appoint an arbitrator.
What is arbitrator?
Arbitrator is a private judge who is going to decide the dispute between two individuals. If you go to court, the judge is
For the
appointed.
ADR.
Yeah, judge is appointed by the court, by the state. But here the parties appoint the judge.
Okay.
And the contract said that arbitrator will be appointed by the company, that is employer. It's a labor dispute. I said I can. Then he started telling, sir, the contract says that we can appoint, but I felt it is wrong. So therefore I insisted to the employer that we will recommend 3 names. Let the labor choose one out of the 3. See, he brought a kind of equity, equitability in the whole process, even though the lawyer who drafted it took care of the interest of the one of the party. But my student, when he read that, he said it is not correct. So this all the humanitarian approach you can expect only when you work in the society, and that's what the legal aid does.
So you also give focus to certain students to look for moot court, certain students for ADR. Does this happen? Does this, they take the focus, or everyone is given the same training and then let them decide?
No, it's like this. The students would be offered, there would be a selection round in the college.
Okay.
For where any students who are interested can register. Once they register, say for example, moot court. Before they could register for the moot court, mostly myself or Professor Patil used to go to the classroom, explain to them moot court, what is expected, etc. Once they have registered, we give them all registered candidates a training. And then in the selection, whoever is selected, they will be selected for the nationals and internationals. And for the nationals, the college usually bear the expenses of registration and travel, but of course not to the extent of air travel, etc., only the train fare and all. To some extent, the other expenditure. Same thing with legal aid, what is that, ADI competitions, client counseling competitions, and even in international competitions, sometimes we used to pay at least their registration fees, because again college has no other source of income other than the government giving funding.
So by the end of 5th year, they know what is their focus?
Yes.
Whether it's the moot court or
No.
Focus is cannot be moot court or ADR.
Okay.
Focus can be whether they want to be litigating lawyer, whether they want to go for a corporate sector, have their own business, start an NGO. So these are the multiple options, and also cracking the competitive exams.
Judges to become judge, to become assistant public prosecutors, etc. No, but the focus is like, do I want to go for a civil litigation, criminal litigation, whether I want to...
Even in litigation you have many options, and also whether you want to practice at High Court or Lower Court, whether you want to practice in Goa bench or Bombay bench, Bombay High Court, or you want to go to Delhi High Court, Supreme Court.
Yeah.
So you have many opportunities, but by the end of 5th year, whether they are focused, they know what they want to do, fairly they will be aware, but there will be some
confusion. Do you think by all this you have made the life of a student very busy? Is it required?
I wouldn't say that we made busy. In fact, compared to many other colleges, the life in Salgaocar Law College is much more comfortable. In a sense, our classes runs from 8:50 to 1:30. So therefore, the rest of the evening is given for their activities. So therefore, we don't put too much pressure on the students. I did see there are many law students break down because too many assignments, too many things, but this college we never do.
And when you say 1:30 it gets over, there is also a compulsory internship.
No, when we say 1:30 it gets over, the teaching gets over.
Yeah.
So internships are generally taken during the vacation.
Have you heard of a new term called toxic campus? The toxic campus is the campus where, because of the competitiveness which has been built among the students, you can't expect 2 friends in the same campus, because the toxicity is so much that everybody is competing with one another. I am proud to say that our campus is not at all toxic.
We are not into that mad rat race yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I hope that it will not.
So after there are also 1 month internship every year that LLB as well as BLLB compulsory. You have to do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So BA LLB student will end up with 5 internships, and LLB
And
student,
again, this internships also, the option was given to the students, and I always advise them to go for a different internships rather than all 5 internships with
law firms or lawyer.
We generally encourage the first year students to start with NGOs or some governmental organizations or other things. Therefore, you have a variety. One internship in
That
a civil
helps
lawyer.
you in taking a decision.
A while back, I had discussion with you with
Yes.
regards to internship, shorter and longer internship, because I am of opinion, some of my friends, relatives have told me that longer internship actually help. Would you push towards students?
No, it does, and that nobody stops them from doing long internships. What Bar Council of India insisted is only the
Bare minimum
requirement. Say, for example, most of the law students now, evenings they go and sit in the lawyer's office and do. Though we may not call it as an internship, it is a kind of an internship.
Yeah.
That means on record we may not take that as an internship. So it all depends on the students and their interest.
Okay. Sir, we were discussing about the examination process. There are 2 sections. One is the internal exam. So how is the internal exams be like normally?
So there are 3 components. I think it's going to change soon. No?
Yeah.
We are going to change a little bit. Should we discuss the changed one?
Maybe not. We just broadly deal with internal, what
Okay.
to expect in internal
Okay.
and what to expect in a final.
So, see, first the thinking that went between us was the memory is tested in the end semester exam. So you have to by heart everything and you write. And if we do the same, we repeat same thing in our internals also, then it doesn't make any difference. So let us not test their memory, let us test their analytical and critical analysis skill. So therefore we introduced a problem solving method. So that's what we were discussing. There we give them a problem and ask them to apply the law and find a solution for that.
It's an open book test.
And another important part here is it's an open book. So the students will come with their notes, with their textbook, with other information. So they spread it around on the table, give them a problem. And they are given 3 problems, out of that they have to solve 2. So that is one system where we try to enhance their analytical and application skills. Then we have the system of seminar presentation. So where their research, drafting and presentation skills are assessed. So where they have to give a written submission, and written submission is assessed separately, and then they have to give a seminar to their own classmates, and there we assess their presentation skills. So these are the 2 components which is majorly used by most of the teachers in the internal assessment. Initially we had given them some freedom of designing their own assessment procedure, but again the teacher has to design a procedure and submit it to a committee and get it approved. That system was there, but now as the subjects are 5 now. Earlier we had only 4 subjects. So with the 4 subjects we had more time.
5 in a semester.
5 in a semester now. So that's why as the number of subject increased, he was a principal at that time, and he decided that let's not burden the students with more components of internals. So we reduced it to 2. So now we have problem solving and seminar presentation.
Okay. And how about the main exam, the final exam?
Final exam is university. They conduct the exam. So it is out of 75 marks. And this final exam, generally they get a choice of out of 14 questions they have to write 10. So it is fairly, but it is tough exam, because till 11th and 12th the answering styles were quite different from the law, because here what happens is we expect them to write a descriptive answers, and we expect them to write the answers with analysis. So this is quite a different ball game as compared to 11th and 12th exams.
Okay. So 75 for main exam, 25 for internal.
Internals.
But as you were discussing, it may reduce. The 75 may reduce and internal may increase
in near future.
in near future.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So
But it won't affect the present batch, because whatever change that we bring in, the change would be applicable to the batch which is going to join coming year.
okay. Is there a lot of gap between what is taught, what is there in books, what is there in practice?
Yeah, that's one of the key issue when it comes to most of the professional courses. Okay. And we have also seen that the academic rigor that happens in the law college may not translate into in profession, because as he already talked about examination system, what profession expects, what we test in the law college, there is no connection. I'll give you an example. The most of the examination part is memory based test, whereas in the profession what you require is an analyzing capacity. So in a court you could read from your arguments, you can prepare your arguments, refer, read and give.
And you can ask for time also.
You can. Or you don't want to present, you give in the written.
Written also. All options are open to us.
So what is required there is factual investigation, skills of factual investigation, drafting skills, analytical skills, application of law, innovative thinkings, all these things are expected in profession. That is why the law colleges need to change. If you don't, then your gold medalist may not be necessarily a great lawyer. And I have seen, for example, when he said about the problem-based test, students who sit very quiet in the class, not many questions they ask, they still do well in problem-based. And now learning assessment, we need to think very seriously about catering to all types. I have one student, great mooter, he has won moots, he has won ADR competitions, and he failed because he cannot memorize and write. But then of course he struggled, but he won, and he is a good lawyer now today, because what profession requires he has, but what academics requires he may not sometimes. So that's why we are trying to bring as close as possible. But one thing you should remember, we can only reduce the gap, you cannot bridge the gap, because law colleges not equipped to make a finished product of a lawyer and send to the profession. They have to learn something from the profession.
See, my take on that is slightly different. Every stakeholder has to contribute to build a new generation. So we are building a new generation of lawyers, and we expect contribution from the bar, we expect a contribution from the bench, and they sit and they tell that we are not getting the product that is fit for practicing. So they can step in and they can bridge the gap, which is not happening, because there is a gap between academics and the bar and bench. We don't mingle.
We don't interact.
We don't interact.
A simple
so that is
one,
a problem.
Yeah, that's simple. One example. Suppose the students were asked to observe a case. Now, if I take 10 students, observe the case, after whatever they observe, if the judge can come down, interact with them, explain them what happened, that is where the generation is built.
Yeah.
But then I cannot blame the judiciary, because
They are also overburdened.
See, therefore, as he says, law college has certain role, like updating their knowledge, giving basic skills. But there are advances. I'll give you a simple example. Whatever the skills you teach, tomorrow he has to go to the real court and file application there. Okay? You have to prepare a docket. how much space you should give, where the stamp should be fixed. These are all the things cannot be taught in the law college. It has to be learned from the profession. That's where, don't expect that you finish as a lawyer and go there and
Can you blame your English teacher because you cannot write a poem? Because the job of the English teacher is to teach you A, B, C, D. And what you are going to do with that A, B, C, D is left to you. Whether you write a poem or a novel or you become an orator, it is left to you. We cannot sit and blame the English teacher. So we taught A, B, C, D of law.
Okay.
And what you are going to do with it, it is left to you. And to do that, you need an experience and exposure. That you get it in the.
So how do you experience a law college in a best possible manner, or what does it take to achieve success in a law college? Some skills or some habits?
Law college or law profession?
Law college.
Law college. See, I look at the attitudes. What kind of an attitude that a student should have if you want to come to law college and be successful in law college? The first attitude I look at it is open mind. When you join in the law college, you need to have that your mind to be open to anything. Because there is all possibilities of issues comes. See, I never heard about gay marriages. Today they come in constitutional law, professor is telling that men and men can have relationship, they can marry each other. Of course, that is still not yet done in India, but there are. So you cannot say that, oh my God, I cannot accept this. So the first attitude that you should have is an open mind, means open to the ideas. The second one is, the most important thing is that you should develop the habit of questioning.
Yeah, that's important.
You cannot simply believe what the teacher says, what your peer says. You need to question why. And then third one is what we call is forming your own thinking, your own opinions. You cannot say the court is said like this, therefore it is valid, or the court said like this, it is not valid. What about your opinion? So your opinion matters. And the fourth one I look at is the self-determination. You need to decide yourself. Somebody cannot decide.
Okay.
Okay?
Any
And from what to why to ought. That's what we say. Means what law is, not enough. If you learn what law is in the law college, not enough.
Why law is like that?
Why law is, and that is not enough. What ought to be.
What it should be.
What it should be. That's where you need to have that kind of ability. Otherwise, difficult.
See, for me, I agree with all the attitudes that he has mentioned here. But one more thing that they should have is the large heart. Because the law is a subject where you are going to learn better when you share when you share the information and the knowledge. It's because it's more of a group activity. Learning the law is a group activity. It's not an individual activity. So you may read the same paragraph or same page, and if your friend reads the same page, and the interpretation of that may differ, and when you both discuss, you create a knowledge. So that is something which you should learn to do it deliberately. That is the sharing of the information. That requires large heart, because that's what I was talking about. No, the toxic campus is the one where you look everyone as a competitor and you don't discuss it out. So you try to hide the information to yourself. So that is where the large heart is one very good thing. And he was talking about self-determination. That's the hallmark of a professional. Because if I complete a work, what is the quality of the work? I should determine by myself. I should not ask someone else's opinion that it's a good work.
Self-introspection.
Self-interest, that's the hallmark of a good professional. He decides whether he has done because what happens is whether work is the best or not is a different question. Whether you are done to your best of ability is the question that you have to answer.
What have you improved from the last time?
Yeah.
And another thing is you need to unlearn to learn. Because we already people comes with baggages. Like you are fascinated with certain isms. Now, if you are stuck with that ism, then you will not be able to learn a new thing. So that means whatever we have, those blind beliefs and other things, you need to unlearn, remove that.
Usually I say this for every political science class, every time I go first time in a class, that all this ism should be kept outside the class. It is better, because otherwise you may get offended by what I say or what the other participant says.
Yeah.
And the nature of politics is you tend to have very loaded opinions. So
That's
this
what
has
the
to
voltage says. No, the voltage says that I may not agree for what you say, but I die protecting your right to say.
Absolutely.
So that is what is required.
And there is another one is that particularly when you come to a professional college, the profession has certain values, professional values, and your individual values and your professional values doesn't match. Then the conflict that will have with my belief and the professional values. That is where you need to adopt your professional values, even though it is against your individual beliefs, individual values. To give you a simple reason, a lawyer cannot simply refuse a client thinking that the client is bad. He has done wrong. Because that's not his duty. Who has to decide that is the court? You just represent, you don't win cases, you represent. So therefore, the professional values that you need to...
Because a lawyer has to represent each section of the society.
Anyone.
It can be anyone.
I remember there was a severe backlash against Ramjet Milani when he defended the Prime Minister's assassins.
Yeah.
And then he said, I'm a lawyer. It's my duty to represent.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So open-mindedness, questioning are the two things that
Yes.
If I believe these two things, student will have. Higher journey will be far easy.
And the large responsibility is on the teachers to provide that kind of atmosphere. And that's very important. The teachers need to encourage the students to ask questions. We should not stop them.
Absolutely. So now something lighter.
Yes. Can you put off AC? It's too cold.
A movie that you would recommend, a movie, a web series and a book for law student or prospective law student.
For me, 12 Angry Men is the best movie.
That is what it's a constant questioning. Don't
Yes.
accept anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
12 Angry Men.
12 Angry Men. That's my favorite.
For me as well, I was supposed to say that because I have learned most of the things in that one movie than what you can learn otherwise. Book?
Book, I have not specifically thought about this, but there is one Granville has written.
Granville Williams
has
Learning
written
the Law.
Learning the Law is one to the beginners of the law. Just read that.
I think it's a must for anybody who is in the first year, second year of law, and who are planning to join the law.
And to add the autobiography of Mahatma Gandhi, my experiences with truth. That
My experiments with truth.
My experiments with truth. Thanks for correcting. That's one compulsory reading for all the students.
I'm sure some time back you were mentioning one book, Justice. I did not read about the book, but
Justice.
You said that
That is
one
by Michael
Sandler. Yeah. So it is about him explaining various cases.
Yes, in the class.
Various instances he's explaining, but most of them we are following it.
Yeah. No. That's a good book, but not for the beginners. But for the law students, yes. who are in the 4th, 5th years of law.
One book I recommend, usually not directly related to law, but is Fountainhead. I think you would agree to get an overview picture of the society.
I used to fascinate and I used to read even now sometimes when you get low, but it has its own pitfalls.
Yeah.
Too much individualism is also whether we should encourage it.
No, but
You read the book not to subscribe to the philosophy,
Yeah.
but to know
the
that
society.
Society.
Yeah.
I think
Because-
that one
yes,
book
I agree.
captures
Yeah.
it.
Because I every day I recollect who is this character, the one who passed me, whether he is a Roark or
Yeah.
whether he is the
Tui.
Tui.
Just to ask, which character you like the most in that?
Me? You would know it.
No, say for the audience.
I think it would be very clear. It's Roke only.
Roark.
I like to hear.
He's the politician. He's the real
a
politician.
perfect example how in society people try to manipulate. And in the whole book, I like the Roark's last statement in the quote, how he expresses
Yeah.
that being an artist, that he has a right over his work.
I think that movie also is made on that. If some people do not even read the book, that scene they can watch. The climax scene of the Fountainhead is there on YouTube.
Now,
That speech.
Okay.
Exactly, it is how it is there in the book.
okay.
They have replicated.
I have not watched the movie.
I watched both movie and the book, but I think book experience is far more
That's why.
It's named as Fountainhead.
Fountainhead only. So completely based on
I never thought that there was a movie.
it.
And now,
They have captured the essence, but not really the comprehensiveness of the book.
not like
You
Godfather.
will- yeah, not
Godfather
like
book and movie are equally engrossing.
And web series. Any web series, because you mentioned about this recent web series on Facebook.
No,
Mamla
recent
Legal
Mamla
Hai.
Legal Hai, that is the
Yeah.
new series. It has shown to a large extent reality of how.
No, once you progress, no, Prasad,
Yeah.
later it gives good insights about the
insights,
profession.
How it they are taken. Actually, what I liked in that series is they taken actually the instances that happened and that reported in the papers and then brought into that.
Yeah.
And particularly the episode with the parrot was very nice. It was nice.
I have not seen it yet.
You have not seen it.
But one thing I found, Ramrai, now is that slowly even the film industry also started taking law seriously. When I was a young, what they depict in the movies, not even 1% close to what happens in the courts.
Yeah.
The sections were given random, without even verifying. Just a small lawyer, if you ask, they will tell the section. Except murder and cheating, no other sections were never used to match in movies. And then we have absurd kind of court scenes. But now if you see, for example, the movie of Nera, that is a
Malayalam movie.
Yeah.
and Ek Banda Kafi Hai is an
That's a beautiful one.
and there are many other movies. Now they are capturing at least 70% of the essence in the courts what happened.
Because that Ek Banda Kafi Hai is a movie showing that if you are specialized in an area, how that stumps the general lawyers, because all senior lawyers used to come and argue the case. But the matter is under POCSO, and POCSO is a special law. And under the special law, the special logic will apply. So that he was aware, which the generalists are not aware of.
So what I would also suggest is, while watching these movies are good, but you said there is, sometimes it's inaccurate. But there are also these inaccurate reviews on YouTube. There are a lot of articles written. Then if you watch this, your knowledge actually becomes more better.
Yeah, and in fact, what happened is
Because you are curious whether things are really like this.
I was working in Indian Law Institute for a year in Delhi. We went for a movie. The movie was oh my God, I think.
OMG.
No, not oh my God. This one, Johnny LLB. If I'm not
Jolly LLB.
Jolly. No, before that there is one more movie, no, Arshad Wasi.
That's a Jolly LLB.
Jolly LLB.
This is Jolly LLB 2.
We watched that movie, and I think it is was a fairly hit movie.
Yeah.
So me and along with another 3 professors who are also law teachers, while coming down in a lift, we were talking how certain things in the movie is not accurate and all. Then somebody who is listening to our conversation asked, "Are you a lawyer?" I said, we are not lawyers, but we are law teachers. Oh, that's why you are all making all those pinpointedly making. But for me, the movie is excellent.
Excellent. Yeah.
I think students' assignment can be also this: find inaccuracy in the movie.
Yes.
Yeah, that can be a good one. That can be a good
But we will
assignment.
try to implement it.
No, we need to. We can learn a lot from the movies. And
What else they want
And
what else the students want?
Yeah.
Watching a movie is an assignment.
But might as well they watch it
Yeah.
anyway. So might as well do it.
Might well.
So not have regret that every night I'm watching a web
Web
series.
series.
So we have missed mentioning any American TV series. Like I would mention
Suits, no?
Suits and all are not.
Suits is more of a drama.
commercial drama.
But I would say Boston Legal is
Boston
every
Legal is-
episode you would get some case. May not be completely accurate.
Yeah.
But what I learned through that is the ability of debating. You get different perspectives because there are characters with contrasting ideologies, and they argue with themselves. Danny Crane and the other one.
There is a movie by name The Judge.
Yeah.
The Judge.
The Judge.
That's a
It
good-
has too many subplots. The subplots are not connected with law, but the main the storyline. It's a beautiful.
Another
Very nice.
web series that has stayed with me is Better Call Saul. The main character is a lawyer. It may not give you complete knowledge of law, but the hustle that is required to become a lawyer, your question of morality.
The only problem I have with that series is very slow. It takes a little patience for you to get into it.
But once you get into
Get
it,
into it,
I
yes,
think
it's
it's
nice.
because it's made by the makers of Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
So they follow the same
Same style.
style of cinematography and
That My Cousin Winnie is another,
that is another
good movie. My
Okay.
Cousin Winnie. It's a comedy movie, but it's a courtroom
A
drama.
lot of South Indian filmmakers are making movies, legal movies, which are very eye-opener.
There is one Telugu movie. It's not purely on law, but it's on human rights. Its name is Ankuram. Ankuram means the sprouting. That's a beautifully shot movie, which is I'm trying to get that, but not able to get this.
This Jai Bhim is also a good movie.
Yeah.
JB is
Jai
also-
Bhim is a very good movie.
in the Telugu movie that what I'm talking about is that is a struggle to get a person to be released. The main character, he comes with a child and keeps the child in a train, give it to passenger to get water. The moment he goes out, he was captured by the police and taken up.
Oh.
And this girl, this lady, I think Revati is the heroine, she is having with the child. And she fights, and how that system, that criminal law system works against a common man was beautifully captured.
Okay. Now coming to the USP of the college, or what are the good things of the college? I mean, already you have mentioned a lot of
Yeah,
them,
yeah.
but if you had to pinpoint like one or two things, although there are many.
Apart from what we talked, what comes to my mind, one is that the college gives a lot of encouragement to the students. The majority of the events that happens, both curricular and extracurricular activities, is student driven. When I was principal, we sent a team to the Paris to participate in international mediation competition. And the students came back and asked me that why can't we do something like that, because in India we don't have that level of international competition. And that is where the Lex Infinitum has born. So it's basically the student-driven, student thought program.
So Lex Infinitum is international online,
It's
international
an
competition.
international mediation competition. Now, like that, there are many initiations driven by the students, and we have fairly an open mind to accept the suggestions from the students that comes, which is useful.
I would also say the approachability
Yeah.
towards the professor.
Yeah.
And I see, especially both of you, There's always some student sitting with you discussing something.
But for me, the USP of the institution is the atmosphere in the campus. The senior, junior, the divide is not there. And even if it is there, please bring it to my notice.
No, it is not there. It is not there.
Yeah. So that's something.
And I'm not saying that is only with the teachers, but even with the students also it is not.
And although the
I
impression
don't
may
see
be
much.
completely different, because I have seen Salgaocar Law College from outside, what people perceive and what it is here.
It is.
I think it's fairly.
No, when I went to some of the private universities, I don't name the colleges, but the junior students used to call sir to the senior students. That's not there in our college, and they all gel well. Of course, we will have small differences and all. That's another thing. But the community engagement is one of the USP of the college, and it has given a lot of mileage to the college. And for a government-aided program, the facility that the college offers is much higher than any other college.
I think we surprise most of the institutions in India that being a government college, how can you do so much?
I think the management has.
Management is also generously contributed.
Okay. Any point that stood out for you? USP of the college?
That's I said no. Campus, the campus of the institution. It's very friendly. So,
And location also.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of the city. It's actually a luxury, though we are struggling the space and all. Otherwise, next to the famous Miramar Beach,
Miramar
100
Beach.
meters.
And that is why I think a lot of government also events
Yeah,
in
it's
our
happening.
college,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they would always want this.
We have
access is much higher.
we have a very good access. We have a very good parking space, and next to the beach. So what else the government departments need?
Okay, so campus you already mentioned, but campus facilities like libraries. You mentioned about the Lexis software which you can get remote access from your home. But how is the library? Because I've always heard some praise for the library also.
It is one of the largest library for any public
Educational
institution. A public institution of a law, purely law.
In Goa.
Not in Goa.
In India.
In India.
In
Okay.
India, I would say in India.
And actually, what is happening here is
At least we are in top 10, definitely.
we are adopting to the new method of or new definition of library.
Yeah.
Because the library is no more hard copies or of the books from the library. Because I think 10 years back we realized that library means not the books only. So we shifted our cyber room into the library so that a person who enters the library can browse the internet as well as read the book. So long back we had done that. So now we are adopting the both online databases, the e-books as well as physical books. So if you come to our library and have a look at it, it has a spacious seating capacity is there. Books have been stacked at one place. So it's a fairly
We have
big
those
one.
carols for serious reading. Now my future expectations of the library, what I visualize, is not something that so many stacks of books and occupy the 70%. It would be much more sophisticated, most comfortable seating in the whole campus, where you attract the students to come there and work in their laptop because the library is in their hand.
Yeah.
That's what is going to
It's like a strong, high decibel internet with a firewall. Is the library.
And if anybody asks me to design my own library, it would be like nothing less than a Starbucks. Much more than that. So that's what the future library is going to be. The comfortable, cozy place in the campus.
It should not feel like work.
It should not feel like work. I'll tell you why I do this. I went to Vanderbilt in 2004 for my Fulbright scholarship. By that time they have that concept of comfortable seating and there the library opens 24 hours and you don't require big staff members there. and being I'm LLM doing there, so they had given this carrel next to a window where I have a beautiful view. So you sit there, look at them, enjoy, and I have seen many students used to come and relax in the library, and then they start working. That's what I expect in future.
Okay, apart from library, any other facilities that student can avail?
Yeah, sports facilities are there. We have a
Gym,
gym.
full-fledged gym.
Gymnasium is well equipped. I think if you add inflation and other thing, then the equipment value would be nothing less than 35-40 lakhs worth the equipments are there in our gym. And sports facilities are there. I think we win every tournament that is organized in Goa because the students are exposed to cricket, football.
I think mostly bodybuilding and all.
Bodybuilding, powerlifting,
cricket.
we do very well.
They are doing well cricket.
We do very well in that area, and I think in university level also we win all the events.
Okay. Now, talking about career opportunities, I remember one speech of CJI Justice Chandrachud, where he said that back in 1980s, he was having a conversation with his friend, and one of his friend asked him, why you are doing law? You could have basically opened you can use your family connection because his family is purely in law. You could have used your family connection to get a gas station or a petrol pump. So Justice Chandrachud asked him, what is the connection between law degree and that? So he said, at least that would get you some earning. So he was explaining how in 1980s employability was not so good and how it had changed over a period of time. Would you agree with this?
Yes.
To a large extent. I think I already mentioned in my
Yes.
initial thing. Their practice teaching, nothing else.
Nothing else.
Yes.
Now you have number of judges have increased. So the prosecutors. Then majority, for example, in Goa, the Mamladar's basic degree is law requirement.
So let us classify, categorize various positions. Let's say judges is
You have law practice
okay.
as an
Advocate, yeah.
as an advocate.
Yeah.
Then you have judges,
No.
prosecutors, assistant
Prosecutor
assistant public.
This is a government appointment.
It's a government appointment job.
But government lawyer.
Government lawyer.
For a criminal cases in the trial courts.
Okay.
Then you derail my thought, but Mamladars.
That is yeah.
In Goa. I'm talking about Goa, Mamladars. And then we have certain departments where the law is preferred, and then law officers, either it is in banks, in companies, then law firms, then become arbitrator, then mediator, or what we are, teachers. So if you see, there is more than 10 to 15
In corporates and I think even in media, legal journalists.
legal journalism,
Legal
sports
journalism.
law is there now, and NGOs, some of the NGOs, and the research think tanks. There's
Because when you say practice, civil and criminal are the large area of practice. But again, if you just dive deep into it, we have health law is another huge area of practice. Corporate law is a huge, company laws and corporate laws is one. Competition law is another.
energy laws.
Energy laws are there. And what is that? Entertainment laws are there.
Entertainment
Two specialities.
Many.
Law plus entertainment. I think that second area everyone has to find for themselves.
Find for themselves.
That is what one of my recent class was, that I told them, you all will have a field in law. But law plus what? Law plus media, law plus sports, health.
See, for example,
that-
TRI talks about telephones, everything.
Yeah.
So there is a complete set of practice there.
Yes.
Yeah.
These are communication laws.
In fact, recently we had a try session in our college.
In our college
There
we
is a
had a
TD
session.
set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So even income tax is a big area.
Of course, that's ocean.
Ocean, yeah.
Tax laws are ocean.
Because it all depends upon which area you want to join and learn.
See, today you could sit in a chamber without going to courts anywhere, you practice your law.
Yeah.
And all this exposure is given to you in the college that you can become any of these things.
Yes.
Yeah, that is where you have to be smart enough to use that internship opportunity and choose. So that's what even Prasad was mentioning. You should choose wisely so that you get exposure in multiple areas and decide which suits your attitude better. So choose that area.
Okay, almost last two questions. What are the changes that we will witness in the nearby future? This campus is shifting. Let's talk about campus first.
You are talking about our college.
Our college.
Yeah, one is that we are going to soon convert this existing system into choice-based credit system, and internal assessment would be 40 and external end semester would be 60. So therefore, there will be lot more flexibility in assessment.
Is it approved already?
Yes, it is.
It's in the
approved.
process,
It
yeah.
is approved by the university, but it has to be notified. It takes time. But it would. I am fairly confident that it would come from 2024-25 academic year.
Next academic year.
Next academic year.
Very good.
I'm expecting that it should come. And second change, of course, that would be the shifting of the campus is very, very much in progress, and I believe he has visited the place. The foundation is done already. Structure is going to come. Probably another 2 to 3 years, the campus will shift. It has positives. It has certain drawbacks because we miss Panjim, then we miss
We are going to
Ramrai
miss
Naik.
Panjim.
Not too far from Panjim.
Though it is not very far. It is just about 15 minutes.
Only in
drive.
Goa we feel that shit.
Yeah, only in Goa you feel very far.
Because it's hardly, I think, maybe 12,
I'm telling
kilometers.
you about 15 to 18 minutes drive.
Yeah.
It's a direct highway. But then this place is not enough for us because the college, when I joined in the college, we have only LLB, 3 years course. We have now LLB 3 years, a BA LLB, LLM, PhD, and then so many clinics and other things. So the student strength is more than 1,000 today. So we need a bigger campus. And not only bigger campus, it is supposed to be one of the state-of-art infrastructure that they are proposing.
And this year we completed 50 years.
Yeah, and this, yes, exactly.
Last year we completed 50 years.
50 years. So therefore, we need a bigger campus definitely, and that campus is going to be more greener campus, more what we call environmentally friendly campus.
Accessible.
And even campus would be environmental friendly, like the recycling of the water harvesting, all those kind of things would be in
And
place.
accessibility when it comes to disability.
Disability, accessibility, exactly. All those things we are expecting to come.
Last question before we move to our next section. That is, we always see there are law students putting cases against their own institutions. Sometimes against their own professor who have probably taught them. I don't think this must be happening in any other profession.
Yeah.
It happened.
Why it happens, and whether it's a good trend, bad trend.
See, what we teach in law college, we teach them to question. We teach them to question if they feel it is wrong. Not necessarily wrong, if it feels for them wrong. Okay? If they are not bold enough to question what they think it is wrong, then how they are going to represent the clients? For example, a case was filed against me. A consumer case was filed against me. That is the sad part. That means we didn't teach them properly.
Because he cannot be a service provider. He cannot be a service provider.
That it is something that I couldn't accept some dissertation submissions and all. Apart from that, if you see, there are many educational institutions. It's not only this college or any. They need to follow certain principles. Just because I am in charge of the college, I'll do anything. We had seen cases against South Asian University in Delhi, then there is a BITS Pilani in Goa. There are many other colleges where If you don't follow proper procedure, naturally the students learn that procedure in the law college, therefore they will question it.
So we always have student holding our accountability.
Naturally.
I think we have to be more careful than engineering college and medical college.
Exactly.
Because when we teach them to question, the first target would be the teacher and the institution.
Yes.
I am not saying that it is a bad trend. There is nothing wrong with that, because they are questioning it because the reason behind that is they raised a question and you are not given a satisfied answer. So as there is no answer is not satisfactory, they are asking the same question through another forum. So that's it.
So ultimately, see, what happens is when you feel that there's something wrong according to you, it is always you have a right to ask. It may not be wrong, but that's what they felt. So going to the court seeking justice, it's everybody's right. Whether you are a student or whether you are not a student, doesn't matter.
Litigation is only what you see. There are RT applications that you have to answer.
No, we have fairly well-oiled grievance cell where grievance redressal committee is there, which I am the chairperson of that. We do get grievances and we do...
Within the college, if any issues, teacher, student, staff?
Teacher, student, only teacher and student, assessment, all these things and their behavior. That will come to us. So we have, and then we have the internal committee that is created under the Prevention of Sexual Harassment Act. Then they have anti-ragging committee. There are n number of mechanisms.
Very quickly, can you mention about the POSH outreach program that you do for rest of the institutions in Goa?
Yeah, and we have started this legal compliance clinic under which we provide training of internal committee members of various institutions. It started last year. We got first phase of project is to support all higher education institutions properly constituting their internal committee under the POSH Act. After that, we also train the members in conducting.
So you are there, Dr. Sandhya Ram is
Myself and Dr. Sanjay Ram are the major ones, and we have taken Advocate Imedio, who is also our alumni and who started his own NGO, is also a resource person. We completed all educational institutions, higher educational institutions. Then now the second phase, we went to the high schools, higher secondaries. Higher secondaries. And we completed the training of higher secondaries. Now we are going to the third phase of going to the high schools. This is where we are involving other teachers also to train them to go in.
From this college as well as Kare College and Goa University.
College and Goa University, yes.
Goa University,
Yes. Some faculty members
Some
from
faculty
university.
from Goa University and some faculty, one faculty came from GPAD.
Okay.
That is Goa Institute of Public Administration, and also one of our teacher who went on deputation to Director of Higher Education is also part of it.
Okay.
Now we are expecting that once this is finished, we go to all government departments.
Okay.
So therefore, the duty of the law college is not to find fault. Your research is not just finding fault what is lacking. Your research is also to strengthen. You need to strengthen them. That's the idea of...
because our research revealed that most of this sexual harassment at workplace needs to be handled according to the law, and the constitution of the committees were not according to the law. So we took up the burden of establishing the constitution.
And we also give some consultation services for them, of course free, we don't charge for them. If anybody has any issue regarding to sexual harassment, we are happy.
Any institution
want
some
any advice, how to constitute, etc., we are still providing that.
Okay. Now let's go to the last round of our section. That is our rapid fire round. So this podcast has been a mix of various podcasts. One is some inspirations were there, like podcast by Nikhil Kamath, podcast by Unfiltered by Samdish, and now because of this section you would also call it Coffee with Karan.
I was waiting for this.
So this is
so
the
long I am waiting.
So this is the hamper that has been designed by one of our faculty member, Dr. Murmai Vaidya, and she has, I can see that beautifully designed hamper, and we had already told her that it was for the male, because both the panelists are male. Either one of you will win it, and I will ask you questions which you have to answer without thinking too much, without taking much time.
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
He teaches ADR, I teaches ADR. Both are teaching alternative dispute resolution. So we will come to a win-win situation where we will share it.
That you can maybe decide maybe later on. So I'll keep it here, or I'll keep it away so you are not distracted by the...
keep it here.
That would be a
Because
motivation.
I'm
too.
going to
Okay, a motivation, okay.
I'm going to be the anyway winner, so I can. Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So let's start with you, sir, Patil sir.
Okay. So
Okay.
so one by
No,
one
no,
after the other.
I'll ask all the questions to you first. Then I'll
Same questions you're going to ask?
No,
No,
not
okay.
same question, not same question. Otherwise, it will be easy for you.
Yeah, that's what.
No, then I'll also look into the difficulty level also.
Yeah. That is
Okay. I had requested for a lot of faculty members to be judge of this competition, but I found that nobody was
seniority.
seniority that nobody wanted to decide. So I have taken the burden myself.
Yeah. All the best.
Basically, take the brunt of this.
So you being a political scientist, you are clever enough to avoid conflicts.
Okay, so first question section is this or that. Either you have
This
to choose
okay.
one between the other. Okay, I'll give you two options.
Two options you are giving, and I have to choose any one. Yeah.
Okay. Online and offline lecture.
Offline.
Lex infinitum or moot court competition.
Lex.
Beaches or mountain.
Beaches.
Fiction or non-fiction. Books.
Non-fiction.
Reading or audio books.
Reading.
Okay. Now next is open questions. Whatever.
One word answer.
Not one word,
Yeah.
but I would say maybe one sentence shorter.
Yeah.
Subjects that you would love to teach but haven't taught yet.
Wills. Law of wills.
Wills. Okay. What is it?
Will writing.
Will writing.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
What would you do to make law college more fun?
Suspend classes as often as possible.
One impossible feature you want on your smartphone.
Impossible feature is tell me whenever principal is around.
One crazy idea to implement in college.
The craziest idea. The crazy idea to be in the law college is the classrooms. That is classroom below the tree.
Okay.
Under the tree.
Teach
shade.
under the tree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Teach under the tree.
Teach.
Message to our alumni.
Please come back and have a look at it. We have improved a lot.
If you could go back in time and give a message to yourself when you were 18-year-old, knowing all this, your experience and everything, one message.
Do whatever you are doing, you will be successful.
If you could swap lives with any legal figure for one day, who would it be and why? Some legal figure.
Legal.
Dead or alive?
And it's compulsory. That I have to
Yes,
swear.
yes.
So
For one day.
that would be Justice Sikri.
Okay. Can you
The
tell me
one
more?
Sikri, no, the one who decided the emergency case, the Keshwanand, this thing.
No.
Who is this? Who got elevated by overlooking Hegde, Grover, and one more justice.
Beg?
No, Justice Beg.
Okay.
I think he's
Chandrachud.
He's Sikri only, no?
Chandrachud.
During emergency, we got elevated now.
It's not Chandrachud. Chandrachud is the second case.
Yeah.
Don't remember. Yes.
So you want to reverse the
No,
wording?
you want to be in that place.
In that place.
Okay.
Why I will reverse?
Okay. One weird skill every law student should have.
One weird skill.
Every law student should have.
The weirdest skill that they should have is they should learn to talk to rocks also on the way. Stones, rocks, everything they find on the way, they should talk to them. Because they should learn the conversational skill.
Okay. What is your favorite place in the college and why?
Favorite place is where I am sitting.
Yeah, I know. So for some weird reason, some CEOs and all, they always want a place next to sunlight. And I find that you have ample amount of sunlight. Only person who has got bright sunlight.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but I was lucky.
And also there is AC in case sometimes sun is more harsh. And you also let the other people to also face the
because
sun.
I call it as Kailas. I am the god Shiva. So you have to cross all the gods to reach there because I am the last person in the staff room.
Did you choose that place yourself?
Yeah, I chose by myself.
Okay. The first thing, next section is the first thing that comes to your mind when I say the following. One word now.
Yeah.
One word or shorter sentence. Principal.
Pinero,
Best student.
Natraj,
Students' attendance.
don't insist.
VMSCL 2050. In 2050.
In 2050, it will be facing tough competitions.
Visionary.
Visionaries BM Salgaocar.
Okay. So we have come to an end of your round.
It was tough, man. Tiring.
Now for MRK sir. First is this and that. You have to choose between the both. Miramar or Old Goa?
Miramar.
Because your home and
Yeah, my home is Old Goa, but my heart is in Miramar.
okay. Movies or web series?
Web series.
Well, often people tell me that they would see you for film festival, going alone, being there for whole day.
But those were the days when we don't have web series. Now web series are giving much more information and it is longer duration. So I love that. When I buy books also, sometimes I also look at the size. So full fayda uthane ka.
Smartboard or chalkboard?
Smartboard.
ADR training or moot court training? Specific training, not
I prefer now ADR.
ADR training.
Yes.
Okay. Earlier you.
It's more fun.
Training or participating? Because let me give you context. When I saw you in other events also, like our certificate course, you are pretty much active.
I prefer training.
Okay. Now open questions.
For participation now I have to work. Training is easy.
Okay. Open question. Your favorite hangout place in Goa?
Favorite?
Hangout place. One place that you love spending time in Goa.
Gymkhana, I have 25% discount there.
Any restaurant. Mostly the restaurant.
Okay.
Mostly the restaurant.
One crazy idea to implement in college.
The crazy idea is to remove attendance policy. That's it. No attendance.
If you had the superpower to institute one legal change, major legal change in the country, what would it be? Why?
Probably I'll remove all the restrictions on freedom of speech.
All.
All. No restriction on speech.
Most overrated food.
More?
Overrated food.
Biryani.
Sushi.
Why biryani? But
I don't understand the craze.
veg biryani or
Any
Veg biryani is not a food.
veg is not in our this thing. I look at this country is so fascinated with biryani. I was fed up when I went to Hyderabad. Everybody started offering biryani, and the problem is there is no proper biryani. That's the problem.
so you have already.
Then they started Bawarchi biryani in Hyderabad. Now you see there are thousands of Bawarchi biryanis. Everybody says this is the original power. It's crazy.
By saying this with the audience, I think you're already losing the context because biryani is.
I know that biryani is the most popular food,
Yeah.
but I think it is overrated.
Okay, message to final year students. This final year students.
Enjoy whatever the remaining period you have, and don't worry about your future. Everybody will settle.
Suggest one topic we can deal for the next podcast. Maybe not both of you, someone else. And you can suggest some person also. Suggest a topic.
Maybe look into Uniform Civil Code.
And who should I have on the panel?
Panel Sandhya could be one member. Ask Amod is another one. Maybe one more. Whoever is teaching
Family law, Pearl.
Can Pearl or Murmay. Because we are now all male, let us have a female.
Yeah.
And you come inside.
And don't and
all female.
No, and the Ramrai has to be replaced.
Yeah,
No.
definitely,
He will wear
definitely.
sari. Why to replace him? You be there.
I'm still judging, sir. If you could go back in time and give a message to yourself when you were 18-year-old.
So I would have told myself, don't worry, you are going to settle in your life.
I think that is what I would suggest myself. That is
Because
what you have
That's
said.
that's what I told. No, do
yeah,
whatever
don't
you're
worry,
doing,
I think-
you'll be successful.
No, you are doing great, you said, because you never had that problem of settling.
No.
For me,
I said I'll be successful. I said.
yeah, for me it was struggle to make some end meets. So that's why
So I think that message goes out to others also. That don't worry. I mean,
worry.
it will whatever you will achieve something. You will do
Life
something.
is so long that any Dumbo can settle down. So you need not be smart to be successful.
If you
Anybody
had
will.
to pick one dish for the rest of your life, only that one dish you could eat for the rest of your life.
Fish.
Which,
Biryani.
which particularly?
No, you mean the recipe?
No. Any one particular fish.
No. Fish is not.
No. If anyone particular fish,
said
I would be
dish.
chonak.
He said dish,
Or what we call sea bass in English.
Okay.
That's my favorite.
but he said dish. Fish.
It's fine. It's fine.
No.
I mean, chonak fry you can say. Chonak fry you can say.
Chonak
I don't know
fry.
much about it.
Every day.
Chonak rava.
Oh, you are a vegetarian.
No.
The religion is should, but he is not.
You do a lot of collaboration. Any dream collaboration that you are yet to do and want?
I want a training program between our college with a good university from US. That's my wish.
Which domain?
Law.
Okay.
LLB and LLM.
Anything specific?
LLM.
Anything specific training?
No. What
Twinning,
I want.
twinning.
Twinning.
TW.
Twinning program means.
Okay.
We want at least one semester my students should go there.
Go there and
Exchange.
study.
And their students come here to learn.
So some exchange. Okay.
That's-
Now the last section of the question. First thing that comes to your mind when I say the following, one word or the short sentence.
This you are not asking.
I answered, man.
I asked.
Kidhar the aap?
Yeah.
Lex infinitum.
My child.
Best restaurant in Goa.
Right now, Copper Leaf.
Oh, I have a different opinion on it. Okay. Best advocate.
Where?
Anywhere.
In India.
Anywhere. No, not India. Anywhere.
No, you mean in Goa or?
Anywhere. Whatever comes to your mind, the best advocate.
Best advocate would be.
No. This is
Too much
minus
time.
one. Too much of time.
Okay, fine.
Or you consider no one yet best advocate.
No, he has.
I don't know. I never thought about it.
But what needs
Okay,
in your mind first?
No.
Okay, any legal-
That way Ram Jethmalani come to my mind, but I'm not sure whether he's the best advocate.
But
He
whatever.
may be. He's great. I'm not enough to question him.
The rule of the game is
Just give.
what
Okay,
comes
then
to
in
your
that
mind
case,
first.
Okay.
Constitution.
The basic document for anyone.
Future of education.
In good hands. Good hands.
Okay. So I'm
So
done with
you meant him. Future of education is in good hands, not in our hand anymore.
So how has this format been for both of you?
It's good. It's good.
I would say it's a very difficult to decide between both of you.
So
Both
let's
have-
have a win-win situation then.
No,
No, okay.
I did much better.
You did much better.
By we can record and you can postpone the decision making. You can get the results in the this thing comment section, and then you distribute. I am the winner.
Okay.
See, he is younger. You know younger fellows how they make tantrums if they don't win. Give him.
So
Now I don't want.
Now that you have considered, I think for me winners were both. So I would not
We will
select.
shake.
I told you he is a political scientist. I know that he is
I
going
would
to say.
not choose. Although I would not say that one person did exceedingly well or worse or something. I think both have done well for our first podcast and the first rapid fire round.
Yeah.
So I present to both of you, please.
Please.
You may just extend your. So you may share the products,
Thank
and
you.
one you can also give me. If you
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Yes. So any overall feedback for the podcast or any last words?
My last word would be we need to seriously think about the cost of legal education.
Okay.
Because it's increasing, it's not good. I have seen the same issue in US that faced. It's becoming like a chicken and egg problem. You don't have more money, you don't have better education. If you have spend more money, then the lawyers will not go for pro bono cases. And overcharge, then the litigation cost increase. So therefore, I sincerely hope it's not only legal education, but every education we need to cut the cost by increasing government fund. One day I want to dream that all the education is free.
Okay. What about you, sir?
As far as the podcast is concerned, the format is good, but we must thank the people behind the camera who are sitting and listening to us. It's a good format. My suggestion as far as the topic is concerned, as we are coming to the end of the semester, now there will be a batch ready to leave this institution. So we should spend the next 1 month full energy on building career opportunities for the outgoing students. So let the next podcast be concentrating on different opportunities of when you pass out from the institute law. So what opportunities you have. So you can work on that.
Now, you asked the question when government of Goa decided science, arts, removing that. Now, one of the example I'm looking at Ramrai as MA Political Science, conducting a podcast and assisting the students who are behind the scheme with the technology. Now, we are not an engineer, right? Are you an engineer? Then how did you learn the technology? It's interest. So that's what my final suggestion for any student is: do what your heart says. Whether it is law, whether it is history, whether it is science, whether it is literature, everybody can make a living out of it if you sincerely pursue what you want. That's it.
I don't know how much time this podcast would be, but we came today morning at 7:45. Now it is 2:15, and you joined at 8:30, both of you. So we are here finalizing on production issues. Finally come to an end. Thank you for both of you.
Thank
you also to Roshan Matthias
and
Swayam Sodankar for helping out with the production. So big claps for you. Well, I know it's been a tough. I can see already 5 cameras recording from multiple angles. Also thanks to our principal, administrator for getting these equipments, even the management, because you know the follow-up we did for so many equipments to obtain it from the management, to other faculty members, Dr. Ramrai Naik for making such a wonderful goodie bag to be given to
I am sure that these 2 students learned more, because if there is a podcast, they wouldn't have listened this long. And now they are forced to listen, therefore they learned so many things.
Yes. What was your feedback?
Amazing, very
Roshan?
excellent feedback. Good.
Enjoyed or got bored?
No, definitely enjoyed.
Can we ask them to stand?
Yeah, please come.
Please, can you come and show your
I
faces?
think the angle would be a problem.
No, they can join here.
Yeah.
They can join here. Come, sit.
Yeah.
You can just
Pull the chair. Yeah.
We'll take the photo directly. Because there is no one else to assist us.
So Swayam and Roshan.
Wonderful work.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So much.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah.